I do not believe it. Yes, take it out.
Don't worry. Withers verse 30 MAGA MILFs.
That's preloaded.
Okay, good.
So you have done that. Well, I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show. Yes. And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that everything was good. You're there. Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
Why don't we start there? Mike's yours.
Okay, well, he said that he probably sees them. It doesn't say they're naked there, so
He said they have no clothes on.
No, it doesn't.
He said that they have no clothes on. When you have no clothes on, you're naked.
Who said that they didn't have clothes on?
Donald Trump.
He didn't say that in the clip.
Yeah, I'll show you.
Okay, again, I want to hear it again.
Donald Trump.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay?
There you go.
Oh, well, it's a club. Like, he didn't actually say clothes, but he said clothes.
I think it's important for us to be intelligent, rational people.
Okay, so
you say no clothes, and then Howard Stern says, so you're like a doctor.
I definitely don't agree
Why did
with
Howard
that?
Stern say you're like a doctor? Because doctors get to see people naked.
Okay, I don't agree with that. But men are men, and men have testosterone, and men love beautiful women. And trust me, I would prefer a man that actually looks at women and is sexually attracted to women than someone that is not.
Dude, Western women are never beating the allegations. Like, she's basically like, I would prefer a rapist to a soy boy. I'd prefer
than someone that is not. And I actually like looking at women too, and I'm not even a lesbian, but I think women's bodies are beautiful. It's like
ma'am, I'm sorry. No,
it's art to me.
This is disgusting.
No, and
you just told me that you would prefer a man who quote unquote likes the female body and is willing to barge into the private women's only dressing rooms to look at them while they have no clothes.
I know, saying this with the giant cross on her neck too is insane, right? We saw PBM yesterday like saying that men, like, why can't men twerk? While wearing a cross, she's wearing a big cross and saying, like, yeah, it's okay that he at least he's attracted to women.
Women's only dressing rooms to look at them while they have no clothes on.
I said before that
you're saying I think that real men with testosterone are sexual predators.
So you just lied about me right now because I said I don't believe what he did was right.
But it was but I would prefer a man who likes to look at the naked bodies of women.
Then over someone that is attracted to other men. Yes,
why?
Absolutely, because it's not natural.
It's not natural.
It's natural to be attracted to the opposite.
The argument is boys will be boys. The difference is Trump's 80 years old.
Fine, natural.
Natural is what God made, Adam and Eve.
So walnuts, nuts on your chest, chestnuts, nuts on your chin, dick in mouth.
$20 for a skip.
Did it make gay people?
Well, actually,
I thought that God was the creator of all.
No, that's sin, and sin came from the devil.
No, sin is a conscious decision. Being gay is not a conscious decision.
Well, actually, being gay is a conscious decision.
Okay, could you choose to be gay?
It's an action.
Could you choose to be gay?
Yes, absolutely.
Could you choose to be?
I actually could have chosen to be gay when I was younger.
Could you choose to be attracted to your mom?
A lot of women actually.
Could you choose to be attracted to your mom? If attractions are a choice, could you choose to be attracted to your mom?
Can you choose to be a pedophile?
No, I couldn't choose to be a pedophile. Could you choose to be attracted to your mom?
Oh, so there you go. He thinks, no, it's an action, honey. And you can choose to sin or you can choose not to sin. I try to keep the devil away from me.
Can I just get a clear answer to the question?
No, this is a clear answer. But see, you don't come from a biblical standpoint.
What are the first 4 books in the New Testament?
I come from a biblical standpoint that there's 2 sexes. There's no 50 different genders. That came from a pedophile named John Money who lied about...
No, Magnus Hirschfeld, the Jew who was expelled from Germany. Chad, yes or no? Should we watch a little bit of this debate?
Study to push reassignment surgery on thousands of people through his lie that butchered this poor boy and put him through hell. Reimer twins, go look it up on Oprah.
Yeah.
Okay?
So I'm going to ask the question again.
You don't live in
I'm going to ask
reality.
The question again.
I live in reality where I know that a tree is a tree, a woman is a woman, a man's a man, and if you are choosing...
And a moron's a moron.
And if you're choosing...
Okay, let's see a little bit of it. Let's see a little bit of it. Let's see if it's good. It's just the...
Strong alpha males like Donald J. Trump, Spencer Pratt, and...
She has the highest voice I've ever seen.
...loved Charlie Kirk.
Did you just ironically say strong alpha males?
We have laws in favor of women getting leadership roles. We're taking opportunities away from men. You are oppressed more than me.
Men are men, and men have testosterone, and men love beautiful women. And trust me, I would prefer a man that actually looks at women and is sexually attracted to women.
Dude.
They had to make things up to get
Oh my God, what is that, bro? What is this person?
Trump doesn't have to be a sexual predator. Any woman would love to be with Trump.
All right, listen, put your hand up if you would have sex with Donald Trump.
It's a cult, bro. This is a cult. MAGA's a cult.
Has Donald Trump been a good president for women, or has America moved backward from expanding women's rights to debating how far those rights should go? I'm John Regalado, and from Jubilee Media, this is Surrounded, where one brave soul faces a room full of
How come majority of Muslims name themselves Muhammad when you're not supposed to idol worship?
It's not worshiping to name yourself off of the final prophet. How many Christians are named Jesus? How many Mexicans are named Jesus? Same thing. It's an example of a man we're supposed to follow. It's not worship.
Today, we are diving into what feminism means on both sides of the aisle, abortion rights, and President Trump's...
I made a mistake. Well, yeah, Christians worship Jesus, but it doesn't mean that you can name your kid a million things. Christians and Muslims and Jews, they name themselves after prophets.
I'm here with our featured guest, progressive commentator, Dean Withers. Welcome to the show.
Than you for having me.
You ready to go?
Yeah,
John, I'm excited.
Mark,
this
Joseph.
will be fun.
The most common names in the English language are all biblical.
All ready to debate Dean?
Yeah!
Okay, let's get into it.
I'm Dean Withers. I'm a 21-year-old liberal. I do political debate for a living, and today I'm surrounded by 20 Trump supporters again. But this time, they're all women.
He's prepared for this. He literally does this all day, every day on TikTok Live.
My first surrounded claim is, men aren't better at leading than women.
If you would like to debate this claim, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Okay, men are better at leading than women.
Good to see you again.
Welcome back, Lori. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing phenomenal. So the first claim is that men are not better at leading than women. Okay. And I'm honestly appalled that you as a woman would disagree. But I mean, if you want to start it off by telling us why you do think men are better at leading than women, the mic is all yours.
Well, how I would like to start this off is I'd like you to define what a woman is.
Well, sure. I think that the definition of what a woman is ultimately irrelevant to this debate, and I'm willing to assume I'm willing to pre-assume your definition of what a woman is, i.e. an adult human female. See, if I were to give you my definition of what a woman is, an adult human individual that pertains to the social and cultural characteristics typical that of a female sex indexed to their gender identity, well, then all of a sudden we're going to be speaking past one another because we define the word woman differently.
Exactly.
So I'm more than happy to pre-assume your...
Like, they have the opportunity to be speaking truth, and then immediately he just creates his own definition of something that's very easily defined. He just basing it off of society standards already. Like, it's whoever feels like they're a woman is a woman. So... what's the Quran belief about women leading? What's the Quranic belief? Can women be leaders in Islam? It is permissible for a woman to be an authority or leader in any position for which she is qualified, but what about leading a nation? Men are guardians over women by what Allah has favored some over others and what they spend their wealth. A people will not... okay, I remember this quote. This hadith. The Prophet ﷺ said, a people will not succeed who are commanded by a woman.
The first place is kind of silly because you don't know what a woman is.
Well, I just told you what my definition of the word woman is. You just simply overlooked it.
I think it would also depend on what leadership role that person would take. For instance, if you wanted Kamala Harris, who you voted for, to be the president of the United States, we have a problem with that, and I'll tell you why. It's not necessarily the woman, but it is...
who would have been better? Kamala Harris or Donald Trump? Spam it.
Necessarily foreign countries, for instance, the Middle East. If I go to a Middle East country as a woman, I can't show my hair at risk of being stoned.
Why are we talking about Middle Eastern countries when the prompt is men are not better at leading than women?
Because you're asking about leading. You voted for Kamala Harris. I think she would have been a horrible leader. Foreign countries don't always see women as respectful as they see a man. A woman leading this country, for instance, when you go to doing foreign policy and all of those things, they would not have the respect that a man would. I can also say as a woman, depending on your age, if I've got PMS, honey, I'm going to make different decisions than I would as if I didn't.
How funny, too, like this is the state of the conservative movement. They said, hey, how many of you would have sex with Donald Trump? And every single woman in the room raises their hands with a giant cross over their neck. It wasn't, hey, would you get married to Trump? It's how many of you would have sex with... They immediately abandoned conservative values, Christian values. And that's what a cult is. A cult is started because a leader just wants to have sex with the people in the cult.
And if I'm going through menopause, I might have hot flashes or whatever else. I believe as a Christian woman, men are supposed to lead. Mm-hmm. We're supposed to help. And I'm totally comfortable with that.
Okay, well, thank you, Lori. So the first thing that I'd point out here is that your position that maybe foreign countries wouldn't respect a female president as much as a male president, I don't think is represented through the fact that on the global stage, Harris had a significantly higher approval rating than Trump during the election. And there's a reason for that.
Because she would have been a pushover. They would have walked right over her.
And that's exactly why she had significantly better policy, better character, would have been a better president for America.
She's getting pushed over right now.
But ultimately, once again, Lori, the topic of debate is not, was Harris a better option for the president than Trump? Because even if we want to look at women and men on this macroscopic level of evaluating one woman compared to one man, even if it was true Harris was a clown and Trump was awesome, that still wouldn't mean that generally speaking, men are better at leading than women. The last point that you made there was about PMSing. I think that you're like indicating that women are more emotional than men on average.
They are. 100%.
Then tell me why men commit 92% of violent crimes. Tell me why they're more likely to self-unalive, commit suicide. So you think that testosterone is what makes men more emotional?
Absolutely.
Okay, well then you just conceded the debate.
No, I didn't concede.
You just said
that was too easy for him to win there.
Absolutely, men are more emotional than men. 5 seconds after saying that women were more emotional than men.
And that's kind of like somewhat of a red herring, because what I'm trying to say to you, women are more emotional. They just are in more of a, I can change my mind depending on my mood. Now, you're bringing in anger. You're bringing in violence. You're bringing in...
Is anger an emotion?
It is, but to a different extent. And honestly, if you've got a man that's violent, out of character alone, I don't want him leading the country.
Yeah, that's why you voted for...
Oh, yeah. You want to get into that? I know that's another problem, but I'm happy to get into that.
I guess we could get into that.
He was never accused. Never accused.
He has like 20 accusers.
Okay, we got to pause there. You've been voted out. Please return to your seat.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, Lori.
If you would like to be the next...
Yeah, he won that one already. Who's, let's see. This chat is very divided on the subject, but I think it already won up.
Debater, please get to the chair. In 3, 2, 1.
Chad, how would you respond to that? That was a good argument about women being emotional with the violent crimes. What would the response be for you? Cap, she won? How?
Welcome, welcome.
Hi.
I'm going to give the mic to you. Why don't you tell us all why men are better at leading than women?
Men are better at leading because as a woman, I can tell you that we're emotionally manipulated very easy.
You said emotion doesn't correspond to violence? Absolutely it does. Absolutely. That's why you have the difference between premeditated murder and murder for self-defense.
Tend to be compassionate because we, as a woman, and getting pregnant, it's inherent in us. Why? Because we deal with babies.
So women deal with babies, therefore women can be manipulated. I don't think that argument follows. But once again,
can be easily manipulated.
Women can be easily manipulated.
And convinced, yeah.
What's the argument for that?
It's inherent in us.
Okay, just saying that it's inherent is like me saying that what is actually inherent of women is that they can't be easily manipulated. That doesn't give me any substance to underpin your position.
Where this falls flat is if women are easily manipulated, then they should submit to the man in the room, which is Dean. Like, they should just be like, okay, then Dean is the man here. He knows more than me. I should go to the kitchen. Why am I even on this Jubilee debate?
When you just simply underpin your position by saying, well, it's inherent, and it doesn't push this dialogue forward. I would say that men are probably easier to emotionally manipulate than women, or else they wouldn't be culpable for 92% of violent crimes. We could emotionally manipulate a man by making him lose a game of Fortnite. The next thing we know, there's 3 holes in his walls. All right, same thing with self-unaliving statistics, suicide. Suicide's a really bad thing, but it is true that men are significantly more likely to kill themselves than women on average. Same thing with drunk driving, gambling. And then when we look at women, they actually perform...
I think the argument is that men are they're more common to like actually follow through with it. Like, women will slit their wrists instead of actually commit suicide because they're more emotional. They want attention. They want the validation. They want to show people how sad they are. Men will commit. So that's why the violent crime is 92% men, because they'll actually go out and do it. Women are weaker and incapable of it. That stat doesn't represent the actual gender differences.
Better in the fields that are less indicative of emotional outbursts, such as performing well in school. And I mean, this is all underpinned by biology. There was a study done by the American Medical Association that proved that if you're operated on by a female compared to a male in the operating room at a hospital, that you're less likely to die or to experience any post-negative operative outcomes. Why? Because women are biologically designed to deal with stress and pain better than men because they have thicker dendrites in their brain. So ultimately, the science and the empirical facts completely reject the conclusions that you formed.
Not at all. Men are more rational, and women...
You've been voted out by the majority,
so please
speak. Return to your seat.
If
you want to be the next debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Hi.
Hi.
What's your name?
They're kind of showing right here by this little run why women can't lead, because like the first person to get to the chair gets to speak. You see how they're all being polite and they're not even really running. They're like showing how they're physically incapable of getting there. Oh, okay. Oh, you can go first. It's like how did the granny get there first, bruv?
Hi.
Hey.
What's your name?
Annette Davis Jackson.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Yes.
So let's hear it. Why do you think that men are better at leading than women?
How about I know that men lead better than women? Because women have the babies.
Okay.
You're emotional. But more important, I have a dad. I have a dad who was very strong. And when I see what...
Okay, anecdotal. I have a dad. Literally everyone does.
President Trump is embodying. I say, and I know that you can roll your eyes, but you know what my grandmother used to say, you can roll your cotton balls, but you sure can't shoot them. So men are strong just like Trump, because in the first 100 days, what did he do? He started writing executive orders.
Yeah.
He started writing executive orders day after day after day after day after day after day. Women would probably say, hey, let me take a break. That's why.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Dude, Dean, you could just do the checkmate right here. Okay, men are better leaders than go home, go make me a sandwich, bitch. Like, sorry for cursing. Get in the kitchen. Why are you here debating? Yeah, men lead. Get out. Get off the chair. Listen to the man. Obey the man. Done.
Listen.
Done.
Clearly, I disagree with you about Trump. But that's actually not relevant to my counter argument. I'll tell you why. Because even if Trump was a good leader, that doesn't mean that therefore men are better at leading than women on average. Like, for instance, in the same way that you could give an anecdote of a man that you think is good at leading to justify the claim that men are better at leading than women, well, I could just give an anecdote of the opposite. Hitler was a man. He was a terrible leader. Therefore, men are worse at leading than women. All right? But clearly, that's not how it works, because we cannot...
Okay, look, horrible leader, evil person, but undeniably revived Germany's economy from one of the biggest deficits, probably actually the biggest deficit in European history in the shortest amount of time. The German economy was terrible, and his policies revived the country, and they almost dominated the entire world after being destroyed after World War I. So, yeah, horrible leader morally, but economically, one of the best of all time. It's not even close, bruv. What are we talking about? Saying, dude, relax? This is factual.
Attempt to allow an anecdote
sound effect
of what we think about one individual man to then exist as a portrait for a generalization about all men.
Why did you have to say Hitler?
Because he's obviously a bad leader that's a man?
Yeah, and
you agree?
The president of the United States, which is the commander-in-chief, Donald J. Trump, is a great leader.
Okay.
And he's a great leader because he won a landslide.
Okay, yeah.
And if he could run again, he would run a landslide again.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, she's so dumb. She's so dumb. But if she was smart, she should have said, like, okay, let's define good and great. Dean is using debate tactics here. He's talking about the moral idea of a good leader rather than the examples of being a good leader, like on paper.
Yeah, well, guess what? He's not. He's a terrible president. His policy sucks. How about this? What's your favorite Trump policy? I mean, a bill passed through Congress, then signed into law.
Great question.
I'm a former college coach, and not having men and women's sports.
I'm sorry, what bill was that?
This exact, bro. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, that exactly what I'm saying. Transgenderism is what divides people. Like, people will look away at Israel because of trans and women's sports.
Oh, no.
Well, I'm sorry, what bill was that? I asked you a very specific question.
We got to stop there. That you've been voted out by the majority.
Like, that's people's most important issue is transgender sports.
Into your seat.
Okay.
All right. If you want to debate this claim, please get to the center in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, Tracy.
How are you?
I think I remember you. Were you on my first rounded episode?
Maybe.
Well, I'm going to pass the mic to you. Tell us why you think men are better at leading.
It's so funny, too, that they all said that they would sleep with Trump, and if Trump saw her, Trump would call her a fat pig, bro. That's what he would say. She's a fat pig. She needs to lose some weight.
My first rounded episode?
Maybe.
Well, I'm going to pass the mic to you. Tell us why you think men are better at leading than women. It's worth me, like, reminding you and maybe everybody else in the room that so far, a lot of the people who've come up and sat in that chair have really missed the mark. Like that last lady. She told me that men are better at leading than women because she likes Trump. Okay, let's hear in general why men are better at leading than women.
Well, this is why I think you're going to be surprised. I actually agree with you.
And why are you in the chair?
And I respectfully disagree with some of them. Well, I'm just saying some of the points that they were bringing up about a woman being pregnant and because somebody can carry a baby that they're not fit to lead.
Oh,
I mean, it's the same argument where we say men go to work and come home and the woman stays and handles the household and the children. So is that not a powerful position.
So debate them, not him.
And I also have to, I'm respectfully disagreeing here, and I want you to give me an example. If you can tell me hypothetically of a woman that you think would be a better leader than Trump right now.
So just to clarify,
what is she talking about?
Don't think men are better at leading than women?
No, Dean, because
Perfect.
if I'm in,
I'm really happy. I'm really happy that you don't think that.
I just told you, I agree with you, right?
I want you and everybody else in the room to obviously not think that men are better at leading than women. But unfortunately, the nature of this surrounded episode is where we have disagreeers in the hot seat.
Yes, so I'm asking
I'm happy you're not, though.
So if we're walking down a dark alley, let's say we're on Figueroa or something, I would be the person having to protect you. I mean, everybody's built differently. I feel like I would have to be protecting you. I'm taller. I'm sure I weigh more than you.
She called you a soy boy, Dean. She called you a beta male.
I mean, you can take as many classes as you want.
Figueroa is where all the prostitutes in LA are. Sweater God goes there on stream.
Oh, yeah.
But it's true, Dean.
Listen.
Men and women are.
I'm not going to disrespect your ego the same way you're attempting to insult me, and that's fine.
Well, no,
See, I'll be the bigger person here.
No,
that's the difference between the left and the right.
I mean, you guys are laughing, but this is oftentimes a female argument. She is kind of proving the point. But Dean can't go there. She's hype-mogging him. This is what women will be like, but your pee-pee small. It's like they just immediately, instead of talking about the issue, they just go for the ego.
So it depends on where this conversation is going. If you're looking at body type, I'm sorry, there are women that are larger than men.
Can you guys vote her out because she doesn't think that men are better at leading than women?
Tracy, it does sound like you agree on this prompt. So we're gonna have you return to your seat and bring in a disagreeer.
Okay.
All right, if you disagree with this claim and you want to be the next debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Hi.
The hottest one there.
Julia Kate. So I want to ask you, inherent in your statement that men are not better leaders than women.
Ooh, who is this? Chat, who that? Astaghfirullah. Who that? Who that?
Name's Julia?
Julia Kate. So I want to ask you, inherent in your statement that men are not better leaders than women.
Yeah.
There's the sense that you believe men and women are different, correct?
I think that there's obviously distinctions between men and women, or else we wouldn't have two different words to refer to two different groups.
So what are some of the distinctions?
Well, I mean, there's distinctions in the sense of cultural and social attitudes and behaviors. There's going to be that are, of course, innate to men and women, because
so
I don't think that prescriptive gender norms exist. Now, like from your perspective, that we were to define the genders on the basis of sex, of course, then there's going to be sexual dimorphism, and there's going to be differences present within that. Of course, like there's a plethora of differences. Listen, I'm not denying that there are differences between men and women, because once again, if there wasn't differences between men and women, well, then we wouldn't have two distinct groups.
Okay, so we agree on that.
My claim is I don't think that any of the differences that exist between men and women would amount to being relevant to justify the claim that men are better at leading than women.
Do you think women are better at leading than men?
No, I actually think that gender is completely irrelevant to the prospect
is what you're saying.
of if somebody is better at leading than the other person. I ultimately think that there's going to be no determinative ability, regardless if we're making the claim that men are better at leading than women or women are better at leading than men, to ever make that prescriptive claim.
So what I'm hearing is that men and women are essentially interchangeable in your mind.
Well, in my mind, once again, I just don't believe in the prescriptive.
I got to work on my, because like if I were debating her right there, I would not be paying attention. I would like immediately be like, yo, like, why do you sound? You wanna get out of here? Yo, let's get out of here. What are we doing in this debate? Let's go.
Of gender norms. And I think that ultimately one's gender is irrelevant to their leadership capabilities. If you can tell me what are the relevant differences between men and women that make men better at leading than women?
Yes, we can go back to the hunter and gatherers, when men were the ones going out to hunt and women were the ones staying with the children and gathering fruits and nuts. Men are the people that go towards risk, that go towards provision, naturally.
Dude, this is like a good example of why the West is declining, because like, why is she here at this debate? She has a cross around her neck. She raised her hand and said that she would get plowed by Trump. Why is she at this debate with Dean Withers? She should be making a macaroni painting with her child. She's ovulating right now. And Dean, like, naturally, someone like Dean, it should just be, she's like, she's literally ovulating on this chair. And here she is debating about Trump instead of she should be barefoot in a kitchen in a little sundress making eggs for breakfast and then getting ready to do story time with her 8 children.
Why is it that in today's, even our influencer community...
poll. Who just did that poll? Would you? Someone just did a poll. Would you? Focus up.
We have more women that are drawn towards beauty, makeup, things like family, schooling, and men are more drawn towards traditionally masculine things. It's innate in every culture that you see this trend. We are hormonally different, that's been mentioned throughout this place. You as a man do not know what it's like to have a cycle, to have a period, to have your hormones go up and down.
Yeah.
That is insanely significant for a woman's ability to lead. And women will complain about being scared to walk on the streets at night, and yet they'll elect the same politicians that release the criminals on the street.
Do you think that women should lose the right to vote?
I think that I'm not talking about that today.
You just got to get a quick yes or no, then go back to the topic.
I think that we need strong alpha males like Donald J. Trump, Spencer Pratt, and our loved Charlie Kirk, who will have secure borders, who will not let criminals on the street.
We are Charlie Kirk, carry the flame. They act like Kirk was a war hero. Dude was a podcaster and debater, okay? He wasn't a politician.
We say strong alpha males?
Strong alpha males, yeah.
Bro, get a grip. Stand up. Listen.
Bro, get a grip. You're a man. You want to mansplain to me?
Well, I mean, actually, you just said that men are better at leading than women, so you should listen to every word that comes out of my mouth per your perspective, right? So if you think that men are the strong alpha males and women are the emotional followers, why won't you follow my lead and listen to what I have to say?
First off,
because you don't believe what you say.
That is a straw man. I believe that male and female are created equal in the image of God. We each have the same dignity and the same value. We have the same brain, the same rationality, but we have different and distinct roles.
Okay.
Why is it that women can get pregnant? Only females can get pregnant.
Well, of course, that would boil down to the physical biology.
Physical biology.
Because
isn't that innate that women are more geared towards child rearing and child raising than men are?
So once again, the way that we started this conversation was by me agreeing that there are going to be differences between men and women.
Exactly.
You just simply could I finish? I would love if I could finish. You can't say because there's differences between two things.
I would love if I could finish on it too, Paul. Sorry.
That thereby innately one of the two things is going to be better at leading than the other. Like, I think that's ridiculous. Listen, once again, my claim is that the differences that do exist between men and women ultimately don't amount to justifying the claim that men are better at leading than women. And let me respond because you made a lot of claims. I think it's been the opposite.
Okay.
To respond to your claims, you said that there's a difference in the hormonal balances of men and women that make women more emotional. Well, I mean, I already went over this with.
It's not even just more emotional. It's that our bodies are not equipped to handle the same levels of cortisol as men. We need more care. Look at Donald Trump. The man literally lives off of Diet Coke and McDonald's.
Okay.
We could not do that.
Okay.
Which lowers your testosterone, by the way.
Listen, actually, women are more equipped than men to deal with stress. It is proven by this.
Wait, Chad, you want to see a real alpha male? Alpha male. Who's got the video of him singing Monster with Nicki Minaj? Why is the turkey here? Turkey! R.I.P., bro.
Science.
Actually not true.
No, I'll tell you. You could look this up. Anybody at home could look this up. Women have thicker dendrites in their brain, and study after study after study has concluded time and time and time again that this gives women the ability to better manage their stress than men. And you actually brought this up. You brought up childbirth. The reason why women have thicker dendrites in their brain, giving them a greater navigation ability, giving them a greater ability.
Then go home, raise them.
To deal with their pain and stress is because of childbirth, okay?
Yes, because
and that's exactly why women can deal with their stress better than men. So your claim that the opposite is true is wrong. And plus, once again, when we look in society, how men deal with stress compared to how women deal with stress, well, when a man gets mad, he commits a violent crime, he kills his wife, he kidnaps his children, he sets his house ablaze. And this is why men are significantly more likely to commit every single crime on the books, including crimes.
Stories of women doing that. Who was the mother that was very famous in that 10 years ago?
That do not have a necessity for any use of physical strength, such as arson, cyberbullying,
women are such good leaders,
it's funny that he'll generalize for men and they'll say violent crime, but he won't generalize for any other group.
Let me speak.
Well, I'll happily let you speak in response to the things that I've said, as long as you're able to stay on topic and respond to the meat on the bone.
Because I'm a woman and I have a brain. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, I guess women are better.
He'll bring up crime statistics when it comes to men, but when it comes to crime statistics with race, he's never going to bring it up.
Could even win.
No, we're not. We're good in our certain roles. We have our strengths and our values. We're good at raising children. We're very smart and adaptable. But men are the people that need to be out there fighting crime for us, protecting us, so that we feel safe and we can
Trump is a draft dodger.
Keep our children safe. Why do you think that just historically, more men are CEOs, more men are presidents, senators, whatever kind of leadership role you want to talk about? That is not because of white supremacy, colonization, or some kind of legal limit. It's because men are drawn to those roles. Today, women have the same exact rights as men, and still, a lot of them choose to stay at home or feel that they can't stay at home because of societal pressures.
Okay, well, I think that you said it there at the end. Societal pressures. Societal pressures are the reason why I think that we've seen more men in positions of power, more men in leadership fields, and more men's calling the shot. But if you're the position that underpins your claim here would be that if we've seen overrepresentation of men in a field in comparison to women, that men are then by definition better performing in that field. So in the same way you're claiming that because of a vast majority of leaders are men, therefore women are worse at leading, would you also claim that men are better at surgery than women because 85% of surgeons are men and 15% of surgeons are women? I just want to direct yes or no to my question so then I can follow this up with a dialogue.
Become surgeons because it's a more masculine thing. It takes more masculine traits.
Could you
to have to look
question?
at the blood. I said yes, but I want to ask you,
I
would
have
you
to hop in
agree
here.
that men are more oppressed today than women? Men are told that they're toxic for being masculine. The only laws that prevent any gender
Please
from getting
don't vote
a
her
role,
out. I need to respond.
we have laws in favor of women getting leadership roles. We're taking opportunities away from men. We need, you are oppressed.
I'm so glad this era of content is dying. Like, men are men and women are women, and men can be the men and men are women.
This chick is crazy. Okay, listen, I think that you're crazy.
Hey, that was misogynistic. Whoa. 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 That was the real Dean for a second. Yo, this bitch is crazy, nigga. Man, yo, this bitch is crazy. Yeah, facts, because she's an emotional, ovulating, crazy. Yes. There you go.
Women getting leadership roles. We're taking opportunities away from men. We need, you are oppressed more than me.
This chick is crazy.
Facts, Dean. Facts.
Okay, listen. I think that you're crazy because you just said that I'm more oppressed than you, while also claiming that I'm a better leader than you after making the argument that disproportionately men have been in positions of leadership throughout history when leadership is what grants power. But anyways, insanity. Listen, I asked you a question. I said, do you think that men are better at surgery than women because 85% of surgeons are men and 15% of surgeons are women? The reason why I asked this question is because you made the claim that men are better at leading than women because a vast majority of leaders have been men. You said, yes, Dean, because a vast majority of surgeons are men, therefore men are better. The science says, no, men are actually worse at surgery. So the American Medical Association did a study in conjunction with the Journal of the American Medical Association. They did the study on 1.4 million patients over 6 continents in 14 years. And what they determined
now bring up violent crime statistics and watch them fold.
Consistently is that when we account for every single confounding variable that could possibly exist, every single time, men are significantly more likely to kill a patient on the operating table or to give them negative postoperative outcomes in comparison to women. It is one of the most well-accredited studies ever conducted in human history that has reasonably concluded that women are better at surgery than men, even though they account for a minority of surgeons. And this is exactly what debunks your claim that if a field is overrepresented by men, that therefore men are better at performing in it.
Of our natural desires and what men and women are naturally drawn to.
But women are better at surgery, even though they account for a minority of surgeons. That completely debunks your argument.
Sure, that could be a thing, but I'm saying that naturally men are drawn towards roles of risk and provision. That's because of innate biological characteristics.
But women are better at surgery.
And I said that you're oppressed.
You could bring up a study to back up your claim. There's always a study out there that will prove you right.
Because of society telling you that you need to be a beta woke man, you are not like oppressed as a leader. Like instinctually, you want to lead. You want.
She called you a beta woke male. Oh my!
To teach me. That's because of your nature, and I appreciate that very much. But I disagree with your claims.
Okay, well, I mean, you have to concede here that your argument that men are better at leading than women because more men are leaders than women.
Her voice is like a cartoon. Would you want your wife to sound like this or no?
False. And the reason.
Okay, we gotta stop there. We're out of time, so please return to your seat.
Pleasure.
She did the best so far.
That's the rounded episode you watching. That
was the best one so far. I want to bring her on stream.
Is a misogynistic sexual predator.
Okay, if you want to debate this claim, please get to the chair in 3, 2.
I just popped that Norway guy's snuss. Let's see if I'm okay.
1.
It tastes gross.
Hello, my name is Shiva Bagari.
What's your name?
Shiva Bagari.
Shiva Bagari.
Shiva, okay, she's named after a Hindu god.
Hello, my name.
Is this how like conservative women they'll say like Trump is like, yeah, he's the alpha. We need conservative out. You're beta and woke. Look how she's dressed, bro.
Shiva Bagari.
What's your name?
Shiva Bagari.
Shiva Bagari. Well, would you like me to take it away by explaining to you why I think Donald Trump is a misogynistic sexual predator?
Yeah.
First and foremost, he's a sexual predator because a court has held him civilly liable for raping a woman by the name of E. Jean Carroll. Of course, raping somebody is something that would make one a sexual predator. In 2005, he also boasted about engaging in sexual violence by sexually exploiting beauty pageant contestants at the beauty pageants that he owned by barging into their...
Or anywhere.
No, who said that they didn't have clothes on?
Donald Trump.
He didn't.
Intelligent, rational people.
Okay, so
you're saying no clothes. And then Howard Stern.
attracted to other men. Yes,
Why?
absolutely. Because it's not natural.
It's not natural to be gay?
It's natural to be attracted to the opposite. Women actually
could you
tried to hit
choose
on
to be
me,
attracted to your
and I
mom?
said
If
no.
attractions are a
But
choice,
I
could
do
you choose to be
look
attracted to your mom?
What's the answer to this question?
Can you choose to be a pedophile?
No, I couldn't choose to be a pedophile.
Yeah,
Could you choose to be attracted to your mom?
Oh, so there you go. He thinks, no, it's an action, honey. And you can choose to sin or you can choose not to sin. I try to keep the devil away from me.
Can I just get a clear answer to the question?
And no, this is a clear answer. But see, you don't come from a biblical standpoint.
What are
you
the first
come
4
from
books
a
in the New
worldly
Testament?
standpoint. I come from a biblical standpoint that there's 2 sexes. There's no 50 different genders. That came from a pedophile named John Money who lied about a study to push reassignment surgery on thousands of people through his lie that butchered this poor boy and put him through hell. Reimer twins. Go look it up on Oprah.
Yeah.
Okay? So
I'm gonna ask
you
the
don't
question
live
again.
you don't live in
I'm gonna ask the
reality.
question again.
I live in reality where I know
Jesus.
that a tree's a tree, a woman is a woman, a man's a man, and if you are choosing,
a moron's a moron.
and if you're choosing, see, that's what they do. When they can't win an argument, they go for calling.
Okay, pause. Everybody pause. Dean, we got to ask that you don't do personal attacks. That's a warning.
Okay. All right. So first and
Whoa,
foremost,
whoa. But the first girl, didn't she say that he was a woke beta?
the question once again was, could you choose to be attracted to your mother? The reason why I'm asking you this question is because you had suggested that all attractions are a choice.
It is
so
a choice.
Please, with just a concise yes or no, could you choose to literally be sexually aroused by your mother?
Livco, that literally happened. The first girl said that he was short and weak and that she was bigger and could beat him up.
So there's 2
But, yeah,
possible
he shouldn't
answers
be
to
doing
this
him
question.
that harms.
The first possible answer is yes, Dean, I could choose to be attracted to my own mother. And the second possible answer would be no, Dean, I could not
But
choose to
you're
be sexually
trying
aroused
to-
by my own
you're
mother.
trying to do a
so
hook
what's
on
your
me.
answer?
Could I
It's
just,
a hook.
do you have a yes or no for that?
No, because this is a hook. Because I will never be attracted to
But
my
could you
mother and
choose?
father because it's a choice, but I would never do that because I'm a Christian.
So could you choose?
That's it. I'm not going to get.
I'm a Christian, and yes, I would sleep with Donald Trump.
Say that on camera. That's weird, and I'm not going to be in the hook of this young man that's 21-year-old telling a 52-year-old to say something disgusting like that.
So you admit that it's disgusting
Yes.
to think that you could choose to be attracted to your mother.
We got to stop there.
Say something disgusting, but she'd sleep with an 80-year-old man.
Been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat. If
Did
you
she
want to be
win?
the next debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Howdy.
Hi, Dean. How are you?
I'm doing phenomenal.
My
I'm
name
going
is
to
Zuriel.
Zuriel, it's a pleasure
Nice
to
to
meet
meet you.
We're going to go back to the prompts. I think that Donald Trump is a misogynistic sexual predator. The reasons why I think this are some of them that I shared with the last guest. It's because I think that Donald Trump is he had a civil court determine that he a woman by the name of E. Jean Carroll. We listened to that clip of Donald Trump bragging about engaging in sexual violence. Listen, I take a sexual predator to be somebody that is engaged in sexual violence. Donald Trump bragged about that when he said he barged into the dressing rooms of the women at Miss Teen USA and Miss USA. If Donald Trump's admission of guilt in that clip that I played to the last lady is true, and this is indeed something that Donald Trump has done.
Oh, he should have said for the incest thing when she said that she's not demonic and wouldn't sleep with her parents. He should have brought the clip where Trump said, perhaps I'd be dating her if she weren't my daughter.
Then by definition, Donald Trump would be a sexual predator, and thereby, by definition, I'd be right.
Can we both agree that people in power of elitists, people up there in politics, all have their own
Sam, who?
Maybe their own immoral traits to why they're running for candidacy. Like we've heard about Epstein files,
Yes.
about all these different people that, maybe they're not really here to make a change for us.
Yes.
And can we agree with that?
Yes.
I could care less about what Donald Trump says on the media, because I believe as long as he does his very best to be a good president and do the best for this economy, I don't vote for a president based off their character. I vote for them based off what they can get done. Honestly,
I would like to just take a moment. Let's look at what you said.
Okay.
Are you saying, Dean, it's true Donald Trump is a misogynistic sexual predator, but I could care less because of his policy?
What I'm saying is,
Can I just get a straight
we
answer?
obviously can't deny that maybe he has bad traits of his character. I'm not going to agree that, I don't know everything about Trump like you do.
Okay,
But
let's start
what
from
I
the
care
top.
about is his economy. I don't care about what he has to say
Let's start from the top of this
the
debate.
news.
Okay,
You sit
he's gonna
down.
destroy her.
I tell you Donald Trump is a sexual predator. I tell you he's a sexual predator because he raped a woman and boasted about sexually exploiting beauty pageant contestants.
The reason why I'm not responding to your claim is I don't know much about what you see in the courthouse.
Let's just test your logic. What do you say, Dean, even if it was true, Donald Trump was a sexual predator, because you don't know about the evidence for it, which is something you should look into on your own time, I would still support him as president and could care less. Is that your position?
I would still support him as president because he does what's best for the economy and for the American dream.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to stop.
Every person
we got to pause
within
there.
that.
You've been voted out. We got to pause there.
Yeah, quote unquote, I would still support Donald Trump as president if he was a sexual predator. If he was a child rapist, they'd still support him.
That's bad, bro.
If you want to be the next debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2.
Who's next? Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Liz.
Nice to meet you, Liz.
Nice to meet you.
Wait,
listen, I think that you've heard my arguments. You have to be.
I got a feeling. Wait, it's tingling. My radar's tingling. Is it?
Sitting in a position where you could hear my voice. Mike is yours.
Okay, so my question is, because you mentioned Donald Trump going into the women's locker rooms.
Yeah.
Are all trans people sexual predators?
So I would not say that trans women are sexual predators for using the women's restroom. I think that the definition of sexual violence would be any sexual act that is done without consent. And I don't think that this would be true of trans women who use a women's restroom. And I have an argument for why I think that trans women should be able to use a women's restroom. But let's try to take advantage of our time. Instead of me giving you my argument, let's just hopefully stay on topic with the claim that Donald Trump is a sexual predator because he's a woman. He's boasted about sexually exploiting women by barging into their dressing rooms and looking at their naked bodies without consent, then telling Howard Stern how much he loved it and how incredible they looked. He's mentioned the Epstein files over a million times.
The young women in sports who do not want biological men in their dressing rooms, doesn't that go against them?
Well,
what about their
That's where he has to concede. It's like, you can't go harp on about Trump being a sexual predator and then think it's okay for men to be in a bathroom with a little girl, bro.
I would love to have a conversation with you about trans people in dressing rooms, or sorry, more so locker rooms. And I understand where you're coming from if you say, well, I don't want a trans woman in my dressing room because I would see their naked body and their genitalia.
Well, no,
the reason why I get it, the reason why I understand where you're coming from is because even when I go into my gym's locker room and I see other dudes with their dicks out, I'm like, hey, bro, I don't really want them to see me. I don't want them to see me. So I advocate, one more. I advocate for unisex, unistall, one person at one time changing rooms in locker rooms and gyms and sports across the country.
The thing is,
that's my position. Let's talk about the claim that Donald Trump is a sexual predator.
Part of the claim.
Well, you're not.
First of all,
do you accept that Donald Trump is a sexual predator?
I can accuse you of being a sexual predator.
And if
he wants to ban locker rooms, is that his new policy? Sync uniparty. You can't change in a locker room?
To doing it, then it would be true. Donald Trump admitted to barging into those dressing rooms, and a court found him guilty of raping E. Jean Carroll.
No, he didn't. No, they didn't. That's a lie.
They certainly did.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did. Listen, do you accept that the definition of rape would include the penetration of a woman's vagina with any part of a man's body, including his fingers?
Without consent?
Yeah. So specifically, the action that the jury found Donald Trump guilty for was forcefully penetrating E. Jean Carroll's.
I think what's going on right now in the world with men and women is that women are accusing a lot of men of rape. And until I see actual proof, because a jury can just agree with anything, that's something else, okay? Until there is actual proof and evidence, and if you can show me the proof that Donald Trump raped her, then fine.
Thank you so much for the great question. What's all the evidence? So the first form of evidence that we would have would be E. Jean Carroll's testimony, in which has maintained consistency for the last 30 years, as corroborated by 4 of her friends that testified under penalty of perjury. The second form of evidence that we'd have
lied under penalty of perjury.
Well, can you please examine the evidence in which I provide as soon as I'm done providing it? We have therapist notes from the 90s indicating she was raped by Trump. We had the testimony of a psychotherapist that said when E. Jean Carroll was testifying to the fact she was raped by Donald Trump, she was exhibiting signs consistent with true trauma that we'd expect to be onset by a true victim of rape. Then we have Donald Trump's lies and inconsistencies. He lied. He said that he never met her as a part of his testimony for his defense. And then E. Jean Carroll responded by submitting a photo of them together to court.
Do you remember
I'm not done with the evidence. I'm not done with the evidence. We have another line inconsistency on Donald Trump's behalf. He also said that he never raped her because she wasn't his type, but then he confused a picture of E. Jean Carroll to be his ex-wife Marla Maples under deposition, so clearly she was his type. Then we also have E. Jean Carroll...
W. Yapper. Like, well... Man, the fact he downloaded that?
Dress. E. Jean Carroll submitted a dress to the court, claiming it was the dress that she was raped in by Donald Trump. Court confirmed it had male DNA on it. And then when the court asked Donald Trump to provide a DNA sample to test against the DNA in the dress, he said, no. Doesn't sound like something an innocent man would do. And then the last and final piece of evidence we have would be his character priors. Listen, we all know that a one-time felon is around 73% more likely to engage in another felony compared to somebody that's never committed a crime in their life. The same thing rings true about being a sexual predator. So because Donald Trump has character priors with engaging in sexual predation, like the dressing room clip, proudly boasting about sexually exploiting naked women and girls, or like the Access Hollywood tape where he literally said that he would just grab women by their vaginas without asking first, and that's precisely what the jury found him guilty of doing, or everything to do with the Epstein files, that in consideration with the direct evidence submitted by Eugene Carroll and his lies is absolutely what demonstrates Donald Trump raped Eugene Carroll.
Okay, we got to stop there. We got to stop there.
He's like, okay, the left was also in the Epstein files.
Voted out. Please return to your seat.
Yeah.
If you want to be the next debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
Some weird fits today.
Nice to meet you. I'm Gina.
Nice to meet you
where
too,
do they
Gina.
find these women? Look at her. Okay,
Hi.
her.
Hi.
What? Okay, what?
Nice to meet you. I'm Gina.
Nice to meet you too, Gina.
Thank you. First of all, if Trump was truly a predator, he would have never reported Epstein to the feds.
Yeah, he
Is this
did it.
Laura
In the
Loomer in a
90s.
skin suit?
He did.
Do you mean
In the
2006?
Yeah, sorry, 2006.
That's okay.
Also, was he ever on the
I love that they say that Trump was the first whistleblower for the Epstein files.
island?
Well, I don't think that there's any evidence to demonstrate he was
never on the island.
because I don't think he needed to go to the island to get it off.
No.
Listen, about the 2000
Epstein had operations in New Mexico and Palm Beach, Florida, and that estate that Bibi Netanyahu, who Barack, former Israeli prime minister, visited in Manhattan.
quote unquote report to the feds about Epstein. He didn't report him to the feds. Epstein got arrested, and then Donald Trump turned around, called the local sheriff, and said, "Oh, thank God you got him. We've known about what Epstein's been doing all along," which A, indicates that Donald Trump knew what Epstein was doing with Maxwell and didn't report to him to the cops prior to Epstein's original arrest, and B, indicates that Donald Trump has been lying to us about the nature of his relationship with Epstein for the last 10 years.
No.
We've all heard Donald Trump say that he never knew what Epstein was doing, was never involved, and was completely oblivious, but according to that report to the sheriff, of course he knew.
Okay.
And Epstein called him the most evil man that he ever met.
So first of all, if he did do something, believe me, they would have found it. They had to make the Russian dossier.
No, Trump pushed, he put Ghislaine Maxwell in a nice resort instead of a maximum security prisoner. Like, he is actively covering up for it right now. If there was real information, they wouldn't allow Ghislaine Maxwell to be in a golf resort instead of a real holding cell with interrogation.
They had to make things up to get Trump. Trump doesn't have to be a sexual predator. Any woman would love to be with Trump. Okay, any woman.
Do you have a husband?
No.
Okay. Wait, well, let's actually test that. Could I have all the women with husbands or boyfriends in the room raise their hands? So her claim is...
So less than half the people. They're single women just ovulating, just trying to pop it open. They want to pop it for Trump.
That any woman would love to be with Trump.
Love.
Would you guys cheat on your husbands and boyfriends with Trump?
Well, we didn't say if they were married. Not if we were married.
I mean,
Instead of anybody who's in a relationship, is there anybody who would want to be with Donald Trump?
Let's do it the other way
He
around.
doesn't have to be a sexual predator.
Okay. All right, listen. Put your hand up if you would have sex with Donald Trump.
Oh my God, bro. It's so cooked. It's so cooked. It's so cooked.
If I was married to Donald Trump, yes. And I'd love to be.
That's crazy.
Do you prefer Clinton? Why don't we talk about sexual predators as far as Bill Clinton?
Why? It's not about the
because he's a predator.
Whataboutism. It's the left. It's not Trump.
Okay, and if
Trump
he is,
doesn't
burn him,
have
throw him
to
under the
be a
jail. I don't
sexual
care.
predator. Trump did report him to the feds.
I thought I clarified
when-
that's not what
well,
happened.
You're wrong.
I'm wrong. Show me that. Give me
Virginia,
evidence.
first of all, Virginia Guthrie worked at Mar-a-Lago in the early 2000s, and he prompted her to come and work for him as a massage therapist. Trump was pissed, and he reported Epstein.
Okay, well, I would recommend looking at the fact check that will likely be on the video screen that says, actually, he placed this phone call after Epstein was arrested to thank the cop and to tip them off about Ghislaine Maxwell, because that's what the fact check is going to say.
What's the difference?
Well, the difference is in one scenario, he's reporting the crime to the cop to then get Epstein arrested. In the secondary scenario, he's thanking the cop after Epstein's arrest and indicating that he knew about what he was doing.
Indictments.
I think that in many scenarios, what we'll see from quote-unquote co-conspirators of criminals is, well, once their friend gets arrested for the same crime that they committed, we'll turn around and be all lovey-dovey to the police to try to, indicate and promote the idea that they were involved. And the only reason why I bring this up isn't to say I know with certainty that this is exactly what Trump did, but is rather to give plausible doubt to your argument that because he did this, we know he's not a sexual predator, even though he admitted to it on Howard Stern's radio show, and even though a court found him guilty of rape.
Court never found him guilty of.
Bro, these new TikTok Gen Z debaters are like, Core does the same thing. They debate on Discord and TikTok all day long. Bro, they're like miniguns, bro. This is the new generation of debaters. Oof.
First of all, if he was guilty of he'd be in chains right now.
That's not how civil courts work.
They had to make, yeah, it is.
Civil courts don't send people to jail. They hold people financially liable. That's the nature of our criminal justice system.
But he would have been in jail.
You're not familiar with statute of limitations then?
I'm familiar with
What's the statute of limitations?
You can only accuse somebody within a matter of time, but right now
so
it's 30 years.
So if E. Jean Carroll,
Right
came
now it's
out
30
after
years.
the statute of
She's
limitations had
out of
passed
her mind,
for
she's
sexual abuse
insane.
in the state of New York
They
against
threw her
Donald
case
Trump,
out.
do you agree that even if she had a video of it happening to her, he wouldn't be in jail because the statute of limitations had
That's not
passed?
true. There is no statute of limitations when it comes to...
So by the law, okay, the crime that Donald Trump committed per the New York State legal definition of sexual abuse in 2019 to
He never
2022
committed that crime.
was specifically sexual abuse, okay? Because legally speaking in New York, they only defined as penile penetration of the vagina. And she testified that he raped her with his fingers instead of his penis. So
No,
because of that,
that's a lie.
it would
There's
be
no
legally
proof of that.
categorized as sexual abuse. And that's the crime that had a
She's
statute
out of her mind.
limitations on
She's
it.
insane, and they threw the case out just recently.
Okay, why do
Okay,
you
we
think
got to
she's out of
pause
her
there.
mind?
We got to pause there. You've been voted out.
He's doing well so far, I gotta admit.
I just want to get a real quick raise of hands. This is not to shame anybody. I was just genuinely curious. Raise your flag really clearly so we could get a poll.
Yeah, who do you side more with? I know we disagree with both, but do you side more with Dean or these MAGA women?
If at Donald Trump's, like, you know, when he was in his 40s, if you think he was an attractive man. I just want to get a raise of flags.
Crazy question.
This is so concerning.
Keep your flag up if you think he is currently still hot. Okay, I appreciate it.
Oh my
All
God.
right, if you would like to be the next debater, please get to the chair.
So it's like the men will be like, I'd get a beer with him. The women are like, yes, he's hot.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, bro. Oh, brother.
All right, Lori. Mike and the floor are yours.
Okay.
What are your thoughts about Trump barging into the dressing rooms of the beauty pageant contestants?
You know, you may not imagine this, but when I was your age, I was a model. And I can tell you for a fact, every fashion show, every modeling call, there are men in the dressing room. There are makeup artists, there are
Her
designers.
voice sounds familiar also. Why does she have a robot arm? What does she sound like? She sounds like someone on Family Guy. I can't remember.
It's not uncommon. And you're making it as if it's this big, huge deal. Donald Trump at the time was the head of the Miss Universe and Miss USA pageant.
And doesn't this disprove the looks maxing theory? Because he's an 80-year-old man who's fat, but they're all attracted to him because he has power, influence, and money.
Wouldn't be surprising if I was in there changing for him to walk in. And you guys, let's look at the camera. He's got a face for that one too. Let's go to E. Jean Carroll since she already went over this for 20 minutes.
Can I respond to
that? Sure, but we're down to 1 minute.
It'll
You've
only
already
take me
talked about
5
this.
words.
Go.
Trump said that there were no men anywhere.
Well, I don't care what he said. I'm saying as a woman that's been backstage at many fashion
he was
shows.
the owner.
There are
He was
men
the one backstage.
everywhere.
He said that he was
and
the
I'm
only
sure
man
that there
back
were other
there.
men. Well, forever or just that instance.
He said
I'm not
that,
buying
though.
it. Okay, we got
That's
50
what he
seconds. I'm
said
going
out of
E. Jean
this.
Carroll.
Fuck.
E. Jean Carroll, number one, the statute of limitations had run out. Number two, for a very long time, she never reported it to anyone until Reid Hoffman paid her to freaking go after this lawsuit.
Base.
Why she is now being charged with perjury. Not only that, as a celebrity walking into Bergdorf Goldman's, you don't think that anybody would have a picture of him? And no offense, I don't
I'm
trust
out
a
for
woman
Bergdorf
that
Goldman.
named her cat vagina and freaking was sexy and charged 21 other men with that crime.
Lori, you're
on
going to get
Larry
another
King.
fact check.
Well, you go ahead and fact check. Larry King,
Yeah,
she
I will.
said rape
Check-
was sexy.
Oh, you're wrong about Larry King, too.
Oh, no, I'm not.
Your mind's a mess. Okay.
Your mind's a mess.
You know, Lori, there's something quite barbaric about MAGA, about this alt-right movement that's hinged on this paraxis of propaganda and useless and futile lies. And then when anybody tries to check these lies, well, then all of a sudden, the provocateurs of this movement get mad, start screaming, start yelling, start saying that they kicked our asses, and then they don't let us speak. Listen. You made a couple false claims. You claimed that E. Jean Carroll had said that rape is sexy on an Anderson Cooper interview. That's not what she said. If you watch the interview with Anderson Cooper, you will hear her say verbatim that what happened to her was not sexual, was not sexy, quote unquote, it just hurt. And then Anderson Cooper responded to E. Jean Carroll by saying, well, I think that most people think of this like this hurtful, violent thing. And then she responded by saying, well, actually, I think most people think of rape as sexy. And the reason why she said that is because we form our own versions of reality reality predicated on our own
Well, see, and
experiences.
this
So
is where I
when
think
you
we're
have the
wrong. It was
experience of
Larry King.
sexual
It was a
violence,
separate
when you have the
interview.
experience of
It
sexual
was a separate
violence,
interview.
when
I'll
you
pull
go
the
through
clip.
the experience of sexual violence,
I've been through
when
sexual
you
violence. Have
go
you?
through- Yes. When you
I'm
go
sorry
through
to
the
hear that,
experience
Dean.
of sexual violence, you're more likely to be more hypercritical and aware of crazy people in the world around us that downplay it, legitimize it, or fantasize about it. So maybe it was descriptively incorrect. It wasn't true when she said most people think of as sexy, but regardless of that, that's not her saying that she thinks of as sexy. So stop misinterpreting the genuine claims made by a victim of predicated off of the trauma that they went through. Quite frankly, Lori, I think that is disgusting.
Well, I think it's disgusting because I was a victim of actual and abuse. And if you want to compare what happened in the Epstein files, let me just tell you, I was one of those little girls.
Huh? Huh?
I'm sorry to hear that, Lori.
I was one of those little girls, but the guy was Hugh Hefner. So for you to sit here and sit there and say it's disgusting, I'm sorry. I don't agree with the woman as a woman who was abused. I don't agree with the attacks falsely on Donald Trump because of the crap that your side always has to push because you got such bad TDS. It's insane. That woman is a nut job. I knew somebody that worked with her at Simon Schuster said that she was so inappropriate.
What is this debate turning into?
She also accused 21 other men of the same freaking crime.
Name 5 of them.
I don't know their names.
Because they don't exist.
We're out of time. We have to pause there. Great job, everybody.
Bro, this escalated quick.
We are currently casting 3 new episodes.
Dean got... What happened?
Episodes of Surrounded. If you're a passionate...
What happened to him?
Hello again.
Welcome back. Mike's yours. I'll let you take it away.
Okay, well, I have a question for you. Okay. Do you believe in equality?
Well, I mean, I think that's a very vague question, but generally, of course.
Okay, so if
the premise is abortion should be legal.
you do, then all humans are equal, correct?
No, I don't think that all humans are equal, and I don't think you do either.
Oh, I absolutely think that all humans have a right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Really?
It's part of our Bill of Rights.
What about Iranians?
And if you actually love our Constitution and our Bill of Rights, then you would believe what I believe.
Well, I mean, it says people, but small distinction there. I want to ask you a question. Is it murder for a doctor to pull the plug on a brain dead patient in the hospital?
Some people actually write what they want done. You know, they say, hey, if I become brain dead, then pull the plug.
Yeah, but for instance, if they don't do that, okay, like for instance, I haven't done that. If when I leave the set today, I get into a nasty car accident, I get T-boned by a drunk driver, I go brain dead. Okay, would it be murder for like my family to tell the doctor at the hospital, well, because he's brain dead, let's just go ahead and pull the plug? Would that be murder?
I honestly, you're talking to someone that is very skeptical of doctors, okay? And even they talk about brain dead people that weren't
Don't
actually
push the vaccine.
like brain dead.
True.
So that's why I always leave up to everything to God. So when I die is when I die.
I want to clarify
So
that.
I actually don't want to be killed. But now, if you're on all these machines to keep you alive, if it's months and months and you're not getting better, then you're using machines to keep you alive.
But they're still alive, and you still don't think it's murder to kill them. So you actually don't think that all humans have this intrinsic right to life? And by the way,
I never said no. You don't speak for me. Again, I just told you I don't believe in doctors.
Okay.
So I don't go to the hospital.
I have a very
that's
insane.
I have not gone to
She
the
doesn't go to the hospital, bro? What?
Hospital in a long time.
Okay, well, I hope that you know.
Because
I want to add on a
believe
point of
when it's my
clarification here.
time, it's my time. Now, question for you.
All right.
So, when do you think life begins?
I think that life begins at the moment of conception.
Good. I'm glad you believe that.
You're Christian and you base your morality
and that's
off
called
of
Christianity.
Christianity.
And see, it seems like
Can
the
I
people
ask you
that
a
say
question?
we're anti-science, they're anti-science because they don't believe man and woman. They believe genders.
I want to ask you a question about abortion.
Okay.
You made the claim that all humans are equal. Every single human has the identical right to life. That is a claim that fundamentally everybody
it depends.
rejects
Actually,
in one way or another.
I didn't say that. So, see, you're putting more into the sentence that I did not add.
Your opener
I
was
said
about equality
for life,
for everyone.
Liberty and a pursuit of happiness.
Which
now,
would be
if you're a
the right to
murderer,
life.
I do believe in capital punishment, but because of your actions.
Okay.
So
That's
that's
fine.
where I don't believe in equality is like
Could we
is a
push the
baby and a
abortion
murder the same? No, because a baby's innocent. A civil society protects the most innocent and vulnerable. They don't go and murder.
Baby's innocent, but she believes that they need to be baptized and cleansed of their sins.
Them. That is a satanic society, and I reject a satanic society.
Okay, we got to stop there. You've been voted out.
Okay.
If you want to be the next debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, Tish.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Why should abortion be illegal?
Well, let me ask you something. Abortion is legal here. What procedure do you prefer? The suction, the dye, and the what is it?
I don't know. The most brutalistic, gross one where we chop up all their limbs and throw them in the trash. Listen.
Really, that's gross.
Okay.
That is so gross.
I know. I'm rage baiting you. Listen.
I have 4 children, a set of twins. I would never ever do that to my children. And would you have your girlfriend do that to your child?
Well, ultimately, I think it's.
Or do you have a girlfriend?
I do.
Oh, you
ultimately,
do?
I think that it's a choice of the woman. So if you want to tell me that you never get an abortion,
no,
all the power to you. I love that for you because that's your choice, and I think that's great. But listen, I don't.
Yes or no? Should we get vasectomies like PBM?
I think that abortion is
like Black Boy Max.
Because I don't think that there's any trait that we could identify to be true of a fetus, in which we fundamentally would value enough to grant the right to life. The last person on the mic said, well, fundamentally, all humans have the same right to life. And that's something that we hear from a lot of pro-lifers. As I was attempting to communicate to her, everybody rejects that view in one way or another. So I want to hear your argument insofar as why it's morally wrong for a woman to get an abortion outside of its gross. Because grotesqueness doesn't arbitrate morality. Like, taking a shit's pretty gross. Shit smells like shit, right? Okay. But we're not going to say it's morally wrong to take a shit, even though it's gross. So what's the argument that abortion is wrong?
Let me just ask you this. Everyone's really, really focused on, it should be the right for every woman. Why don't you think about it the other way and think about, why don't you prevent all these women who don't want to have babies? Why aren't you guys helping them prevent pregnancies?
We do. I agree we should.
Yes, we should.
100%. We need access to comprehensive sex ed in schools. We need free and fair access to
in schools?
Yeah, of course.
At what age?
Is at an age appropriate level. I would say starting in late middle school because okay,
middle schoolers should take birth control. Hey, bro, the left is bad.
I was in middle school, you were in middle school, we were all in middle school. The second thing that I think is also important here would be free and fair access to contraceptives. And we should also try to find ways to limit financial instability in young women and young men, because the leading cause of women accessing abortion is financial instability. But you still haven't answered the question, and you've been up here for a while.
Okay.
I want to hear why you think that abortion is wrong. I think that you're struggling to come up with an argument.
Because it is murder.
And the definition of murder would be the unjust termination of human life. Explain why you think it's unjust.
First of all, a woman who has a pregnancy, a baby in there, they have the right to life too.
What grants the fetus the right to life?
What grants it just that it's been conceived.
Or the fact that it's a human?
It is a human.
Okay, so brain dead patients have the right to life too?
So what, brain dead?
Yeah, they're human.
You know what? I've heard of brain dead humans coming out of comas.
Then they're not brain dead. The definition of brain death is irreversible cessation of all cognitive function. Do humans who are biologically alive...
Are dead people dead? What is
because machines with irreversible cessation of all cognitive function have the right to life?
I haven't really researched that, so...
Brain dead people, that, by his definition, are not living. If they're not awake and they're not functioning, they're dead.
If there was no hope, possibly, they should... I mean, that's not my decision to make. That's a family member's...
So you think it should be up to the choice of the family to kill a human
you know what? No,
that doesn't have the right to life? So you don't think that all humans have the right to life? So what is a fetus?
But if they're brain dead, are they really alive?
Yes, biologically they are.
You know what? That's a determination that I would have to take with a medical doctor.
Let's say the same thing about women for abortion. Then.
No, I don't believe that a woman has that even right. That a woman should be able to get an abortion here in California.
Yeah.
No,
okay,
I don't.
We have to pause there. You've been voted out.
Thanks for your time, Tish.
Okay,
how would you respond to that
to be the next debater, please get to the center chair in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, Dean. I'm Enya.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So I couldn't hear a lot of what you were kind of saying a while ago, but what were you saying was brain dead people about if they should be unplugged?
Amber?
Well, I brought up a brain dead patient as a counterexample to the claim that, well, the reason why it's immoral, the reason why it's murder to kill a fetus is because the fetus is a member of the human species.
Yes.
So brain dead patients on a biological level.
And they should not be unplugged. And I think actually any argument that anyone makes for a brain dead patient to be unplugged is actually coming from the doctor doctors who want to harvest organs and to promote the organ donation industry culture. And I think that any kind of promotion that even manipulates families into unplugging their brain dead relatives is also immoral.
Yeah, I think we agree. We agree on that.
And so
organ harvesting aside, if a family wants to unplug a brain dead family member because it's the end of the road,
that is immoral.
That would be murder?
Yeah. But I think the doctor, it would be murder from the doctor in the same way that
So you truly think it's murder to kill any member of the human species? What about a zygote?
that is also murder.
So if I kill a unicellular organism, I'm a murderer? Do you think that all murderers should go to jail?
Human zygotes, it's about humans.
So do you think that all murderers should go to jail?
All murderers should be put into trial and tried.
But if they're truly murderers, like that's an uncontestable
then
fact.
yeah, they should be put to death.
They should be put to death.
I do believe in the death penalty.
Wow. Okay, so here's the thing. Do you know what an IUD is?
Yeah.
So an IUD, an intrauterine device, in some circumstances,
I already know where you're gonna go
will
with this.
allow for conception to occur.
Yeah.
But then it will implant. Then it will prevent the implantation of the now conceived
The
zygote.
purpose of the IUD
Can you
is
please
to
allow me to
prevent
finish?
implantation. If it leads to death,
Yeah.
then it's not then it didn't fulfill its purpose. It went beyond that.
That's a secondary purpose. So the main purpose of an IUD would be to prevent conception, but when that fails, the secondary purpose is to then prevent its implantation. So if a woman knows that sometimes IUDs will allow for conception to occur, then they kill that conceived zygote, and they still yet choose to be sexually active, then inevitably they conceive a zygote and it dies because of the IUD.
I think that when people
Under
have
your view, they're a
IUDs
murderer.
implanted, it is not for anything beyond just the prevention. It is not done for the murder of any kind of implanted zygotes.
Because it's a secondary purpose and function of the IUD. If a woman knows that, then she's agreeing to the culpability of possibly having her actions yield the death of another person. Okay, and under your view and hopefully mine, that would be murder, given that the person that she's killing through her actions by secondary
But
order
that was not
is
the
valuable.
primary purpose of the IUD.
Well, if I buy a gun with the primary purpose of going hunting, but then one day I get really mad and I use it to kill my neighbor, okay, I'm still a murderer.
No,
if I
the
buy
primary
my
purpose
car
of
for
the
the
gun
primary
is
purpose
to
of
shoot. Your primary
better
purpose
example
is
is a car.
hunting. Your secondary purpose by that
A better example is a car.
argument was to shoot that
if I
person.
buy a car to get from point A to point B, but then one day I get drunk and I use it to like wipe out a family of 5, am I a murderer?
Yes.
Even though that wasn't the primary function of the car?
Yes,
Okay,
because
so
you
then even
use
though
that
killing a
car
zygote is
in
not
the
the
same way you
primary
use the
function
gun
of an
as a
IUD,
weapon. You use that
when it
car
does
as a
kill a
weapon.
zygote, under your view, it's murder.
But even though the primary purpose of the car is for driving, you used it for something beyond that. Its secondary purpose was not to be driven drunk and kill.
Well, the
5
secondary purpose of an IUD
secondary
is to kill a
purpose
zygote. But listen, I think that ultimately the primary or secondary purpose argument is irrelevant, because what we should be evaluating
agree.
is, did a valuable life die, and is a person culpable for the termination of that valuable life? And if a valuable life died and a person is culpable for the termination of that valuable life,
because it was used only
and
for
it
its
was not
primary
justified,
purpose
then
of
it's
preventing the pregnancy in the first place.
Okay, so I just want to clarify. You don't think in all scenarios when an individual terminates a valuable life unjustifiably so, and they are culpable for said termination, that they're a murderer? Well, then you're just completely redefining what murder even is by introducing the abstract nuance of this quote-unquote primary or secondary purpose
You're
argument.
the one who brought that up
At the end of the day, the fact of the matter is, in many scenarios, women will get an IUD knowing that in many cases, the IUD will lead to the death of a conceived zygote. And they will know it will lead to that in many scenarios. Then they will still choose to be sexually active, and then the IUD will kill. Under your view, that would mean that that woman is culpable for murder. Therefore, under your view, that woman should be executed.
You kind of said a
We have
lot
to
there.
pause there. You've been voted out.
Okay.
If you
Go take a
How
break.
long do they go on
Being
abortion? I want to go to
pro-
something
per
more.
the-
This is like, Donald Trump is a terrible president. Okay, I want to see her. She hasn't spoken.
There simply are not cases.
Not her. This
2,
lady.
1.
Sticker girl.
Hi.
Hi, welcome back.
Yeah.
I don't know, let's see. Donald Trump is a terrible president because he slept his way to the top.
No, I actually think that.
Remember that? That was
Well,
brutal. Hey, listen, floor's
he
yours.
didn't do that,
Why do
so-
you support Trump?
I think that he has done. He's obviously done a lot of things. I can't say he's a perfect person, but I do think he has done things to benefit us.
What is one macroeconomic indicator that's better off today than it was a year and a half ago under Biden?
Closing the borders.
So that's not a macroeconomic
He
indicator.
didn't do that. He said, what is it, like 200,000 people deported?
Yeah,
A macroeconomic indicator would be something like GDP growth, unemployment, inflation, jobs reports. And by definition, a macroeconomic indicator is just simply a gauge that we could use to determine the health of the economy overall. So
Yes,
once again, speaking about
What's with the stars on the face? This is what Gen Z does this now to cover up their pimples.
GDP growth, inflation, like wages,
Well,
so on and
health
so
of
forth.
the economy. If I can dive into that.
One
He's
indi-
still bringing a lot of Indian H-1Bs. He went to China, said he was going to give 500,000 student visas to Chinese people. It's like, did he close the borders, or does it just seem like he's going
Indicator that's better off today than it was a year and a half ago under Biden.
The amount of drug use and fentanyl in society has gone down miraculously because he has closed the border and illegal drugs are no longer allowed to come in.
You understand the question I'm asking you?
Yeah, I do, and I'm answering it.
So the amount of people that use drugs in society could, of course, influence macroeconomic variables. Like if everybody was drugged up all the time, nobody could go to work, right? So therefore, the macroeconomic indicator of like unemployment would be really high. Okay, so it's not directly the macroeconomic indicator, but rather it's an influence of the indicators. So directly, what is one macroeconomic indicator that's better off today than it was a year and a half ago? Keep it in mind that macroeconomic indicators are things like inflation, GDP growth, wage growth, real median wages, unemployment, job reports, so on and so forth.
Same thing. I'm going to go with drug use.
Dude. Okay.
Dude.
Listen.
Girl.
So what macroeconomic indicators did drug use influence? Are you saying that now we have like a lower level of unemployment because of that?
By closing the border and not allowing illegal people in here, giving me and so many other people job opportunities that they weren't allowed to have before because companies were employing illegal immigrants, just like the weed farm in California that Newsom was directly supporting. They had children at the age of 9 years old illegally here working for them. Those people are no longer allowed here, giving job opportunities to others. That is benefiting the economy, period.
So is that why we added the lowest amount of jobs to the economy in 20 years, ignoring recessions last year under Trump? Is that why we have the highest level of unemployment since the pandemic?
Is it not opening opportunity?
Yeah, it's not. The reason why mass deportation...
It is, actually, it is.
The reason why mass deportation doesn't open up job opportunity in America is very simple. Because ultimately, undocumented immigrants as a demographic are very economically productive. They pay over $100 billion in taxes
and
per
those
year
jobs
on the
are
federal,
now
state, and
open for
local
real
level,
Americans
and they
to
pay
have.
in $1.1 through $1.7 trillion to the GDP annually.
And according, they actually don't. Have you ever met an illegal immigrant that pays taxes? I'm sure you haven't.
So my source is the IRS. Do you think the IRS is lying?
Absolutely. I'm sure they can lie about statistics all the time.
So Donald Trump's IRS is lying about how much.
It's not Donald Trump's IRS.
Well, that's what the IRS is saying today. Who's the president?
No, well, the statistics came in from years ago. You've used that since the last time we were here.
Do you know who Scott Besson is?
No.
He's the administrator of the IRS. Do you know who he's appointed by?
Jay, yes or no? Do you like when an illegal immigrant delivers your DoorDash?
Donald Trump.
Donald
I'm
Trump.
Assume.
And Scott Besson and the IRS under Trump still report that. And listen, it's not a contestable fact.
So you don't believe that removing a certain population can allow opportunities for others to come in? You realize
it makes the economy less productive.
I have family that are refused opportunities, health care, and other resources due to the fact that it's oversaturated by people who do not have a citizenship here. And by closing those borders and not allowing those people to come in, it gives them the space to have that because that's what my tax dollars should be paying for.
So do you think that undocumented immigrants can access like federal Medicaid, Medicare,
They can, actually. They can.
Do you know what the Personal Work Order and Responsibility Act is?
I actually know that they can because I
Do
have
you know
family
what the
members
Personal Work Order and
that can perfectly
Responsibility
walk in
Act?
and they can get checks month per month, living
Elbowing
month per
Dean's
month,
face
and we
until he
support that.
bleeds
Our
out
tax
all the liberal shit from his vaccinated body.
dollars that we pay, we support
Can I get
that.
a yes or no? Do you know what the Personal Work Order and Responsibility Act is?
I believe it has something to do with jobs and paying taxes no matter year.
No. The Personal Work Order and Responsibility Act is a bill from the 90s that strictly limits
Dean be
and
reading it
prohibits
all but the
any
Quran.
type of
Yappity yip yap.
My bad, I'm muted. I said, hey, be tolerant, be tolerant. What do you say? They be reading it all, but yippity yap yap yap. All but the Quran. Brother Dean, read the Quran.
a federal public welfare benefit
And
from being
not
given
everywhere follows
to
the law, obviously.
undocumented
Here in California, we have
immigrants. I'm going to continue to speak. There was one slight addendum to this with Obama's EMTALA, which just says that undocumented immigrants can get life-saving emergency care if they need it. But the point is, when you suggest that undocumented immigrants are reliant on these federal systems of benefit,
they are.
anyway,
They
from
are.
Medicaid to Medicare to Section 8 to food stamps, they're not. It is
They
literally
are. They
illegal for them to
absolutely
collect
are.
those benefits.
And they do anyways because
listen,
states like
by-
California allow it.
So
we pay for it.
you're
I believe.
confused.
No, I'm not
What
confused.
you're confused
I know
about
exactly,
is a difference
I know
between
exactly what I'm talking
limited state level benefits and federal benefits. So you're right.
But it still happens on some level. Can you acknowledge that?
In 10 of our 50 states, undocumented immigrants have the limited ability to collect
But
social safety nets.
that still is an ability, and,
And
my
that-
tax
and that's
dollars
fine.
in California are paying for it. Yes.
Well, actually,
can
their
we agree on
tax
that?
dollars pay for
Absolutely.
it because they pay $100 billion per
my
year in
tax
taxes,
dollars
and they
pay for
subsidize
it.
you.
And people like my brother with disability that
Yeah.
truly need those things are being cut.
They're completely different systems.
They're being absolutely not.
Yeah, they are.
Nope.
What's Medi-Cal?
Medi-Cal, my brother gets Medi-Cal, and they also get
No,
Medi-Cal.
it's specifically
yes,
a
they
system
do.
of benefit for undocumented immigrants that no longer
my
exists.
brother
Your
literally
brother's-
just got something in the mail
your
that
brother's-
says for Medi-Cal.
Your brother's on Medicaid.
No,
on the
he's not.
state
He's
level.
on Medi-Cal.
Listen,
honey.
the point that I'm trying to make here.
I'm filing for a conservatorship for my
So
brother. I would
the-
know exactly what he gets.
the point that I'm trying to
and it is
make
getting cut day by day because of the oversaturation and the overpopulation of people we don't even know exist.
Okay,
and
I'll
we
wait
are
for you to
paying
finish.
for them.
Okay.
So do we not acknowledge that by closing the borders, like I'm going to go back to my point, just like you like to do with everybody else, I'm going to go back to my point that by cutting that population off and allowing more space for opportunity for Americans would benefit the economy.
So you're saying that you pay for the benefits?
I think Jubilee, type 1 if you agree, I think that they purposely started with culture war slap to get more content and not make it all Israel yet, but like you can end this conversation really quickly when you get into Iran war and the real issues.
Of undocumented immigrants. When they're paying over $100 billion per year in taxes on the federal, state, and local level, well, guess what? They're paying for their own benefits in the 10 limited states that give them. In fact,
do their jobs.
I mean, this is just anti-intellectualist propaganda. That's what the IRS says. That's what the Cato Institute, who's ran by libertarians, which is right-leaning, says.
That's disgusting for you to say.
Okay, we have
I
to
think
pause
it's
there. We have to
disgusting
pause
for you
there.
to be hating
You've been
on
voted
others.
out.
Let's skip ahead. Black woman again. You said that she debates this Jew. Let's see about the real combos. And the cute girl doesn't come back. Okay, here's Jew. Jew. Here we go.
Back, Liz.
Hi.
All right. Well, I mean, you know my thoughts. I think that Trump is the worst president of your life, and I think that he consistently demonstrates that through his rhetoric and policy. What are your thoughts?
I love Trump. And honestly, I love everything that Trump is doing with Israel. I'm Jewish. I'm very pro-Israel. I know
finally
how you feel about Israel, but I feel like you probably don't know the facts. I also love what Trump is doing with Iran, because he does care about women. He wants to free the women of Iran from the Islamic regime. He wants to free the women all around the world.
He hasn't said that once since February 28th. Free the women of Iran. And they all say conservative values. And then half of them, they can't have oppressive burqas. We need to be conservatives with OnlyFans.
And you see... Tell me what you like about Iran or Palestine and how they treat women.
Dude, none of the rhetoric for Iran war has been about freeing the women of Iran since it started. That was all culture war slap to get people to side with him. It's only about their nuclear capabilities. It's only about the Strait of Hormuz. And it's public now. That's not even debatable. He hasn't mentioned this once in like 4 months.
Well, I actually want to start off with a claim that you made about Iran. Is Donald Trump negotiating with the IRGC?
Free the women of Iran by nuking them to the Stone Age. By ending their civilization, freeing the women of Iran by dressing up like Jesus and saying that he's going to get rid of them completely and rain bombs over them with epic fury.
To achieve a denuclearization agreement today?
There's no negotiating with terrorists.
Okay, well, according to Trump, that's not true. He says that there are active ongoing...
They're negotiating literally right now, bro. They're literally... They're literally negotiating right now in Switzerland.
Negotiations, and they're performing greatly.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so So the reason why I ask you this question is because the IRGC isn't going anywhere. Because Donald Trump has already said that he's achieved all of his military objectives in this war. He's already, quote-unquote, couped the IRGC and committed regime change by just getting more, quote-unquote, moderate voices to lead the IRGC. And now he's actively negotiating like a 30 to 50-year agreement with them, so they will never have the ability to nuclearize again. What this means is that Donald Trump actually wants the IRGC to stay in charge of Iran, or else this denuclearization effort that has costed us 13 lives, $1 billion a day, and higher gas prices and oil prices everywhere would be for
Donald
nothing.
Trump wants
And
to
because the
completely
IRGC is not going, then he wouldn't be negotiating with him. He wouldn't be trying to get a deal with them. You don't advocate to get a deal with a party that you don't think should exist.
Here's the thing. Islam right now is taking over all of these countries. They've taken over most of Europe. They're starting to take over in the United States.
Why? Because of the wars that you're supporting. They've taken over Europe because you displace people in bomb countries because they have weapons of mass destruction, the same narrative of the war right now. And then there's going to be an immigration issue. It's so...
has to do this in a very careful manner. There are billions of Islamists who are trying to take over they will not stop until they have infiltrated every country.
This is so disgusting.
This guy is proof that destiny infected an entire generation. Destiny is patient
Destiny
zero.
supports Israel. Destiny would say the opposite of this. He went to speak to the IDF. He said that they should turn their cameras off when they commit crimes and put on dresses. Destiny does not reflect what Dean Withers is saying.
Literally what they say.
It's
they
so
say
gross.
they will not stop until
No.
Islam is in every single household.
This
That
is
is what they
insanity.
say, and that is why we need
Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar!
Israel, and that is why Trump is going to do everything he can in his power to annihilate the IRGC, which is what needs to happen.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so first and foremost, if I could compulsorily puke on this table without getting you dirty, I probably would, because everything that you just said was legitimately disgusting.
How is that
First and
disgusting?
foremost, for you to demonize and turn all Muslim people alive
Not all Muslim, no,
into
no,
this
no.
into this model.
Islamists,
You said that
extreme
there was.
Islamists,
You said that there were billions of Islamists infiltrating
are.
every crook and cranny of the world.
They are.
So I think.
Have
that
you traveled?
Listen, I think that we absolutely.
Where was the last place you traveled to internationally?
Let me respond to what you said.
Or have you
been to Israel before? It's not that bad.
gone to New York?
I think
where
that
they're literally.
I just said billions. There's about 2 billion Muslims worldwide. She's saying that they're Islamists and they're taking over Europe. It's...
Doing prayer in the streets?
Yes, if you pray in public, then all of a sudden you...
Hey! Let's go. We made it to Jubilee. Yes. Yes. You see how they chimp out because we prayed in Times Square? But when Norwegians are rowing or people are doing yoga demonstrations today in Times Square, no one says a word. Yoga comes from Hinduism. Are they taking over? Are they establishing dominance? Are they trying to invade? None of them have a word about that.
You're extremists. Go tell that to every Christian evangelical that put their hand on Trump's shoulder in the Oval Office on camera.
If cleaning gigantic cum stains was the only job to feed your family, would you do it, SNEAKO?
What? Why are you asking me that? Why? Who? Dude, what the
evangelical that put their hand on Trump's shoulder in the Oval Office on camera. It's different because it's another religion. Exactly. When it's about Jesus, no, listen to what I'm saying here. Listen to what I'm saying here.
And take over.
Listen to what I'm saying here. When it's about Jesus,
Jewish people go into every single country and try and take over.
Oh, right, and that's why they're going into the West Bank. That's why they're going into Gaza. That's why they're going into Lebanon. Listen to what I'm saying here.
Israel backed out of Gaza in 2005. Get your facts straight.
And what's going on in the West Bank today? Listen to what I'm saying here.
Out of Gaza in 2000.
What? Into the West Bank. That's why they're going into Gaza. That's why they're going in Lebanon. Listen to what I'm saying here.
Out of Gaza in 2005. Get your facts straight.
And what's going on in the West Bank today?
Israel backed out of Gaza in 2005.
Hamas has literally been in charge of Gaza since 2005.
And what's going on in the West Bank today?
It is a recognized terrorist organization.
And what's going on in the West Bank?
Israel.
Every time there's going to be a democratically elected leader, every time that there's a real regime in Palestine, they get assassinated, they kill the negotiators, and then they blame Hamas. It's like, how are you... The fact that they blame resistance fighters when any sort of real leadership gets into they're the cause of the terrorists that they always try to demonize.
Literally has backed out. When you have people, you have a tiny little country the size of New Jersey.
A tiny weeny little country the size of New Jersey that needs billions of dollars every day. It's such a puny little country that just needs all your money.
All over the place.
Around
We're getting all
attacking
over the
it.
place.
What do you think is going to happen?
Well, let's hone this in. Well, what I wouldn't want to happen is like vapid war crimes.
Do you
like
think that Israel
25-mile
should
radius? One moment.
No.
I don't think that any country has an inherent right to exist. I think that people have a right to self-determination. A country is a collective of people. Countries in and of themselves are not moral entities.
Explain to
I am
me.
explaining it to you. Let me speak. I don't want you to interrupt me. I want to answer your last question. You asked me a good one. You said, Dean, do you think that Israel has a right to exist? I think that question is incomprehensible. And the reason why I say that...
No, it's not. No, they don't. They're terrorists. The IDF is formulated off of terrorist regimes. All they've done is genocide. They've provided nothing to America. They only exist because of our dollars. They don't build anything. All they do is destroy. They said all of Lebanon was burned. It's a terrorist state and needs to go away.
That question is incomprehensible is because a state is not a body in which has rights. People are entities in which have rights. A collective of people collectively have a right to self-determination, but the social construct of a state and a government is just a figure of our imagination through the collective of civilization, not an entity in which has rights.
How many Jewish people live in Palestine?
I want to be able to respond to everything.
How many Jewish people live in the 57 Muslim countries?
Liz, what you're doing is you're attempting to overwhelm me with questions.
There's so many Jews that live in Iran, and Israel bombed the synagogue in Iran.
Which is a gish gallop. I want to ensure that I have proper time to go over every statement that has left your mouth, particularly the first statement that you made about the billions of Islamists calling them radical because they pray in public. Christians pray in public all the time. That's not why I call them radical because
they pray in public. I call them radical because they literally say that they will not stop until Islam is in every single household in every country, and they have completely taken over. And you can see them say that everywhere.
I think that every mainstream religion, wishes.
Everybody wants to spread when they have the truth. If you have the truth, then you know you only make it to heaven by declaring La ilaha illallah, that there's only one worthy of worship and you don't associate partners with God. Of course you're going to want people to go to heaven too. This is a good thing. I don't want you to go to hell. I don't want you to burn for eternity because you're applying divinity within yourself, because you believe that you're better than others, because you believe that there's something divine within you. I want you to have the best. I want you to make it. I don't want you to burn for eternity.
Everybody on earth agreed with
Not
our religion.
Not at all. No.
Yes, of course they do. Let me explain to you why.
Christians
are you
don't
you a Christian?
I'm Jewish.
Okay. Here, listen. I'm gonna ask a question to the Christians in the circle. Do you guys think that the only way to get to heaven is to have faith in the gospel?
Absolutely. Jesus Christ.
Amen. And now I want you to put your flag down, if you don't want everybody to go to heaven. Everybody still has their flag up. What that tells me is that everybody with their flags up thinks that the only way to get to heaven is to be a Christian, and they want everybody to go to heaven. What does this mean? They want everybody to be a Christian. So from this guest's line of argumentation, everybody with their flag up is a
W. Dean right here. W. Dean, perfect point. Let's say Islam's trying to take over, trying to spread. It's like Christianity is the exact same thing. They go to different countries and spread. That's why there's missionaries all over Africa. Everybody wants to spread the truth. The difference is Judaism doesn't, because it's an ethno-religion. I just saw the Jews in Times Square. The majority of Jews that will try to spread don't actually want you to become Jewish. They want you to follow Noahide laws so you can go to Goy heaven. They have their own heaven, and then they want you to go to Goy heaven. They don't actually spread. That's why you don't see Dawa Bros for Judaism. That's why you don't really see them, because it's kept within their tribe. That's not the same for Christianity and Islam.
Radical extremists, no different than the Islamists that want everybody alive to believe that Muhammad is a prophet.
Okay, I have a question for the circle.
Final prophet.
All of the Christians in the circle, do you believe that if someone does not recognize Jesus
Look at the Christians getting manipulated by the Jew right here, unfortunately.
Christ as their Lord and Savior, that they should be killed?
No.
Based.
Islam does.
So
no. Where? Just straight up lies. Again, look at instigating. Oh, the Christians and Muslims need to spread. The Muslims are trying to kill you. The Muslims are trying to kill you. And they all clap.
Okay. Yeah, so that's a really argument to rebuttal. Listen, I agree that when you read the Quran and the Hadiths through a particularly fundamentalist scope, you could absolutely yield the conclusion that we should kill everybody that's not a Muslim. 110%.
No, you can't. Where? Where in the Quran and Hadith does it say kill people who aren't Muslim? Kill people because they aren't Muslim. Does not show.
And I disagree with that fundamentalist interpretation of the Quran and the Hadith. And I think the people who don't are crazy. But we could do the same thing to the Christian Bible. When we look at the Christian Bible and we read it through a fundamentalist scope, well, then all of a sudden it is totally okay to own slaves because of Leviticus 25 verses 44 through 46. Genocide is totally fine sometimes because of 1 Samuel 15:3, and sometimes it's okay to impregnate kids because the historical representation of Mary's age under a fundamentalist scope.
Okay, are you going to talk about this? Okay, first off, in the Old Testament it says Isaac married Rebekah at 3 years old. Doesn't the Talmud say that you can rape goyim who are 3 years old?
Kids, because the historical representation of Mary's age under a fundamentalist scope. Under a fundamentalist scope is that Mary was around 13. And the reason why I'm giving you the fundamentalist interpretation of the Christian Bible isn't to shit on Christianity as a whole, but is rather to say that when you read any religious text through that fundamentalist perspective, you could always yield grave immoralities like slavery, pedophilia, or killing people who disagree with you. But the thing is that a lot of Christians, alongside a lot of Muslims, don't hold to that fundamentalist interpretation of their respective religious texts that yield those grave immoralities and rather practice their religion in a quite benevolent way.
The issue is you have people in Iran who are literally suffering, people who had to flee Iran 47 years ago, who are still suffering to this day, people all around the world, because the Islam extremists, the ones who are also in charge of a lot of these countries, will kill you. They will behead you. They will do whatever they can to harm you if you do not believe with what they believe in, if you do not agree that the Prophet Muhammad is the one and only, and Islam is the only religion, and that should be allowed in the world.
Right.
So that's the thing. We are dealing with this today with Islam, and that's where the issue lies.
Okay, we're going to stop there. We're out of time. Thank you.
They should have kept going.
Thanks for the dialogue.
They're nodding their heads like bots. I know. I mean, look at that. This is the state of the American conservative.
Okay, we're going to stop there.
So this Jew just spread straight up 30-year-old propaganda, and look at all the MAGA Christians start clapping.
We're out of time. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks for the Yay! They're clapping. The Jew just spreading very obvious lies and stay completely ignorant to what the Jewish supremacists believe about them.
All right. I just want to give snaps to everybody in the circle so far. Good job, Dean. Snaps to you. Good job. Let's take a breath. It's been a heated episode. For the last portion of this video, I ask that you look around the circle and select somebody who you want to come back to the center and debate their claim with.
Oh God. See, there's so many options here. I don't know. People might hate me at home for this one. I wanted to respond to what she had to say. Yeah, let's do it. Get up here.
Yes. No, bring back the hot girl.
Well, I'll give you credit. You're brave to pick me, so that's good.
Or dumb.
Okay. Okay. It's crazy. It's just how many people buy the lies of Islam. Like how many people just eat up that slop, bro.
My surrounded claim.
And again, I maintains my point. Maybe that's the main point of the streams recently, is that all this anti-Muslim propaganda is just to support Israel.
Is that Democrats sold our country out.
Can I have an explanation of what you mean when you say that?
Well, first off, they're open border policies, sanctuary cities, which are completely unconstitutional. Thank God we have Sheriff Chad Bianco running for governor. Hopefully we'll eliminate that. They said Russia, 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 right? About President Trump. Well, who sold our uranium to Russia? And I love when Trump was talking to all of these European countries. He says, you guys keep screaming Russia, Russia, Russia. Why aren't you buying oil from us?
Someone in chat said, wait, bro, who cares? Your whole thing is to do anti-Jewish shit. Stop getting butthurt over propaganda. The thing is, though, like, traditional Judaism is not followed by the majority people in Israel right now. It's been replaced with rabbinical Judaism, people who apply divinity within themselves. That's why they don't spread. It's an ethno-religion currently, especially in Israel. And yeah, the Torah was supposed to be followed, but it has been corrupted and it's been replaced by something that obviously is false. Like, if you have to go to rabbi court to become Jewish, it's like that was not said to any of the prophets. This was not the message of God. It's not that I'm anti-Jewish. It's that I'm anti-evil. And so many people use Judaism to spread and create the country that Americans created with their money, admitted by Trump.
Why are you buying it from Russia? So there's so many good things that...
Wait, is this guy keep chatting? What else did he say? She's spitting motherfucking fast though. Islam as extremists and you need to admit it. Yeah, dude, of course. But the difference is, notice how Muslims extremists, if they go out of the fold of Islam, clearly, like, if they're the grooming gangs, which have been grossly exaggerated, they are no longer Muslim. You see how this is applied? Extremists are used to demonize the entire religion, but extremists within Christianity, like the cartel gangs that are majority Catholic, they are not called Catholics ever. Obviously, I condemn extremism. Obviously, I condemn people that are doing things that are false in the name of a religion. That's not what Islam is about. So for the same reason that you're not going to call the Catholic cartels Catholic, you can't call these people that are misrepresenting the religion Muslim. What else is he saying? I'm Muslim myself, and to shut down the propaganda, you just admit that and then lose their argument. There's no way you're Muslim, bro. Stop lying. Mossad agent in the chat. Mossad agent. You're Muslim? How many rakat in wudu? Tell me right now. How many rakat in wudu? Burn knife. Tell me. Quick. Come on, now. Go. How many rakat in wudu? Wudu. W-U-D-U. How many rakat are in wudu? Prayer rakat? Why are you asking simple questions? You know what rakat means? In prayer? No. How many rakat in wudu? I don't mean prayer. I mean, how many rakat for wudu? He's still not saying it. 0. Nigga Googled it, bro. Nah. Nigga Googled it. Bro asked 4 questions for a simple thing. 4. Stop, bro. Get out of here, bro. Okay, bro. He said they can manipulate it and read it through a different scope. Hold on. Did he beat the allegations or no, chat? So this Muslim thinks I'm anti-Jewish? I Muslim myself, and to shut down the propaganda, you just admit that you just admit and then they lose their argument? You put the wrong there. I don't care if you believe me or not. Maybe he did beat it. Islam is not taking over countries. They are trying to change the government. Okay. So what are you mad about? What do you disagree with me about? What is he mad about? You think I'm anti-Jewish? Do you not understand that the Torah has not been preserved properly? And about rabbinical Judaism replacing? Stop chatting. Come on, talk. Well, why does everyone tuck their tail when I start? Okay, that and you get butthurt over Muslim propaganda, you crash out over it all the time? Yeah, because it's so clearly used to destroy the world. Why would I not? So you're mad that I'm pushing back? You're a Muslim that's mad that I'm pushing back against Muslim propaganda? Why would? So why is that making you upset? Do you want the Muslim propaganda to just flourish? I'm confused about what this guy's mad about. Is he a thank you, Bibi, thank you, Trump, Iranian diaspora? He's saying you concede to points easily? Where did he say that? If you think Aisha was 9, you're an idiot. There are far more historical texts saying she was 19 than 1 month text debated. Which ones? Are you a Sufi? He's getting quiet now. All right, let's move on. Dude, every time I try to talk to a chatter, they just get quiet, bro.
Trump is done, and the Democrats have completely, like, I'm from Iran originally. The fact that Obama gave boatloads of cash.
Oh, wow. Wow, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. A foreigner will get deported. Get on a boat back home. Get on a boat back home. The war's over, right? Look at this Iranian cosplaying as a nationalist. Well, well, well. Well, well, well. A foreign immigrant subverting American culture.
To that evil regime makes me so angry. So I love that Trump annihilated General Soleimani and a proxy guy in Iraq.
Is she a fake Iranian? If she was a real Iranian, would she Soleimani? Say it like an Italian. Soleimani.
Offed him because he killed 10,000 people, including women and children.
Okay.
So,
yeah, a lot.
Yeah, so I am so happy for him getting rid of the nuclear facilities along with Benjamin Netanyahu, with the intelligence that they brought in and the weapons, and they are our only allies, and the liberals hate Israel.
Yeah.
This was like, it could have been World War III if we didn't get rid of this stuff. You and I might not be here the next 5-10 years.
You should hate Trump then.
Oh, I should love him because he just stopped World War III. He stopped the deep state from destroying this world.
The deep state? Wait, the deep state is the Ayatollah? Wait, what?
And that's what Marxists do. That's what Marxists do. They have no grip on reality. They have no...
Wait, they're Marxists? So you see how they call Iran Nazis, Marxists, Islamists all at the same time?
And they don't understand what's actually going on because they're more concerned about putting men in women's bathrooms in their sports.
Oh my goodness. What's a communist? Can you define that word?
Yeah, it's somebody that thinks that we should not have our own private property. So the government gets to choose, which is, I don't want the government to be my mommy and daddy, okay? It's supposed to be a representative government, which is called a constitutional republic. We are not a freaking democracy.
Okay. Well, we're not a democracy.
Yes. Go look at John Adams and what he said about democracies.
So first and foremost, you weren't necessarily right about what a communist is. Communism is a stateless, classless, moneyless society. Now, on to your second point here about
and did it work? Did it work? Have you watched Dr. Zhivago?
Can I respond? So you said that we're not a democracy, we're a constitutional republic.
Correct.
So a constitutional republic would be a type of representative democracy. And what I mean when I say that...
The problem with communism is that there's going to be people in charge, and they say a classless, stateless society, but there's always somebody governing it. And then communism would just be replaced by then capitalism. It's just a cycle that never stops. So now there's no currency. Now there's no money. Okay, you need to trade. You need to be able to get food. You need to buy stuff, and then a currency will arise. It's like you need to do this. Some currency will inevitably occur. So yeah, it sounds good on paper, right? Because of this current financial system that's based off of, endless wars, and it's a pyramid scheme, right? But inevitably, you're going to need some sort of currency. So, yeah, it sounds good. It sounds like a good replacement, but...
Word around the campfire is that your master bedroom sex sounds like fatal gunshots. Chill.
Is these two phrases are used interchangeably. Because under a republic, we have duly...
Yeah, communism becomes fascism because there's going to be some dictator. There's going to be somebody governing it. They say a stateless society, like nothing private, but... Communism inevitably becomes fascism, correct? Political, economic ideology that advocates for a classless, stateless society centers on public or communal ownership of the means of production, rather than private ownership. Inevitably, yeah.
Elected leaders that then represent, the interests of the constituents of the nation. Under a representative democracy, we have duly elected leaders that represent the constituents of the nation.
A democracy is minus a constitution and the rule of law. So
what?
So
you're saying not gonna lie, you don't have a full idea. So what do you think should replace it? So what? Don't remove it. Did you ban this guy? Or no, you didn't. So what? Wow, it's not letting me click you. So what do you think? 10 Zeal Zooted. What, are you a communist? So what's your opinion?
Basically, if you're saying you're a democracy, the 51% could go and kill off the 49%.
That's called a direct democracy.
So, but yeah, pure democracy.
When Donald Trump said that he took a bullet for the American democracy, he was wrong?
Well, he likes to use that word, I think, to reach out to the Democrats. Right? I believe he's wrong because I don't believe we're a democracy. I don't like the word democracy. Right. I have a twitch when I hear the word because
it's almost just like you go crazy.
It's democracy, hypocrisy, bureaucracy. I mean, it's just
okay. Now another claim they made there is that about
you want to throw up? I want to throw up when I hear the word democracy.
Yeah, MAGA. So listen.
Okay.
Wait. She wants to throw. So she hates communism, but she wants to throw up about democracy. What?
It's you said MAGA like a swear word. Why did you say that like a swear word?
Because MAGA wants to replace democracy with Trump fascism.
Isn't that a good thing, make America great again?
Well, what's not a good thing is saying that you're making America great again by taking healthcare away from 10 million low-income Americans like Trump did, taking food stamps away from 3 million low-income Americans like Trump.
He got rid of the fraud in the healthcare.
Can I speak?
Yeah, but
Thank
you're lying right now. You're lying.
So I'll go ahead and restart, and I'll give you my sources at the end.
Okay.
Composure is important, ma'am.
You're going to talk down to me? I'm your elder. You have respect for your elder.
So first and foremost, Biden is your elder. And you don't have any respect for him.
Well, because
so let's stop it with the hypocrisy.
He's an evil man.
You asked me, why do I use MAGA like a swear word? Because Donald Trump has used that phrase, make America great again, to represent actions like taking healthcare away from 10 million low-income Americans through the big, beautiful bill. Per the reports from the Congressional Budget Office, which is ran by Republicans, liberal estimates are a little bit higher, like 17 million people. Took food stamps away from 3 million low-income Americans through the big, beautiful bill as well. And according to the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, he reduced the purchasing power of the average American making at or under $51,000 per year. He refused to abide by a court order to pay out food stamp benefits for 12 million starving children in America during the last 12 days of the government shutdown. Okay, he's abused his power and privilege as the president to position himself above the law. One of the last things that you said when you were up here on the last prompt was, oh, I thought everybody was above the law, except for Trump. Okay, a couple weeks ago, we woke up in a new America with a new system of justice where you and Trump could commit the same crime, tax fraud. You could be thrown in jail for it, and he can't even be investigated for it because of his deal with the IRS. And all of those things, when they are used to represent the claim, make America great again, absolutely do make MAGA a slur. It's embarrassing to be MAGA. I mean, get a grip, you guys, get a grip. And I said a lot there. I'll let you respond. But I have so much else to say. You know, like you were talking about like how we need to prevent Iran from getting nukes. We're at a worse place with Iran today than we were 10 years ago.
Not true.
Thanks to Donald Trump.
Not
Obama
true.
got us an agreement to prevent them from nuclearizing until 2030. Donald Trump tore it up because it has Obama's signature on it. And about the whole respect your elders thing. So you can't expect me to respect you because you're older than me. If you're going to turn around and call Biden a good American man with great domestic policy, one of the best presidents in modern American history, a crazy lunatic, evil man with a crackhead
he
son,
sold our
even though he's 30 years your elder.
Ukraine. It's on record. He said, "I'm not going to get, you're not going to get the $1 million loan unless you stop this investigation into Burisma, which his son was a part of and had zero experience."
That's illegal. That's extortion. Why isn't he in jail?
So he should be.
Why is it Trump throwing him in
because
jail?
the deep state have the judges. They have so much. They've infiltrated this country.
Donald Trump just hired 400 new judges that are loyalists to him. Why doesn't he use one of them to get Biden thrown in jail?
Because unfortunately, he doesn't get to pick which judge is used. And a lot of these judges are just evil.
Why doesn't he even try? He hasn't tried.
There's been so many lies coming from your mouth. I'm like twitching over there. Every lie that I hear. You said people died on January 6th.
I said that they tried to kill cops.
No, they did not try to kill cops.
Yes, they
it
did.
was self-defense. They were being attacked. 4 patriots died that day, and you don't hear anything except for the one that got shot by the cop. Yeah.
How about this? Can I ask you a question?
There's 4 of them that died, and 0 cops died that day. 1 cop died the next day at 9:30 p.m. from a stroke.
Yeah.
So that was a lie. And I feel bad for people like you in your age because you're being indoctrinated with all this evil. You have no appreciation for life. You're willing to kill the most innocent and vulnerable. But if you were the baby in the womb, guess what? You wouldn't want to be aborted. You'd be like, "Mommy, please save me, please."
I don't even know what to respond to. There's just it was a big mess. Hey, listen, let's go ahead and start off with this. I want to ask you some general questions about your political beliefs because I believe that you hold them without much information. Name one domestic policy that the Biden-Harris administration influenced to get passed through Congress, then signed into law that you don't like? Keep in mind, once again, a policy is a bill passed through Congress and signed into law.
So I don't know that. I just know what he was saying.
How many amendments are there in the Constitution?
The fact.
How many amendments are there in the Constitution?
I don't know exact off the top.
You don't know
of my
how many
head.
articles?
Okay, can I?
How about this?
Okay,
how many
again,
continents are there?
You know a lot
how
of
many
information,
continents
and I'll
are there?
give you that.
How many continents are there?
Okay,
ma'am, how many continents are there?
There's hundreds, but I can't
There's
remember.
7.
Oh, 7 continents. I thought countries. Sorry, countries. I thought you were talking about countries.
Oh, man.
I'm not doing an information war. I'm doing what I saw him do. He glorified a man on Women's Day. He's trying to destroy reality of men and women. That is a bad thing, and that's a Marxist thing. So, you're asking me all of these questions because you're trying to get me. Okay, yeah, I might not have all of these little things that you remember, but what I know is common sense. And Biden's administration is not common sense. They sold us out, just like Obama, giving money to our enemies instead of helping our allies like Israel, who was the only country to stand and
Good, I wiped. Your name, homeless Dr. Pepper guy was your name. Okay, yeah. I washed my hands.
Down those nuclear facilities that could have caused World War III. Let me finish. World War III, except for Israel. Israel was the only one. Donald Trump asked other countries to help because they were affecting them too.
Yeah.
And they had their tail between their legs and did nothing.
So, ma'am, the reason why I picked you to come up to the microphone knowing that it'd be a disaster is because I think that you are a very accurate representation of where the right is at today.
How many consonants did she say there were?
Modern political discourse and American politics. I think that you and many others are clueless people who don't know what they're talking about.
Wait, found another Messiah guy. Found another Messiah guy in chat. Wait. Oh, don't ban him. Don't stop timing him out so fast. Wait. Why is that not letting me click it? He called me an IRGC supporter. No.
No previous investigation or research into the American political system. Can't even name a bill that Biden passed that you disagree with, yet you think he's a devil. And blame Obama for all of your problems, including the FBI, quote unquote, going into the J6 riots 4 years after his administration was over. And I think that it is very important for you, me, everybody in the circle, and everybody watching at home to start caring about the world that we live in, start caring about critical thought, and doing investigative research into our beliefs and why we believe them before our world has gone to this shit of baseless claims, propaganda.
Okay, but we also shouldn't ban locker rooms and let middle schoolers take birth control.
And just putrid nonsense that is highlighted in the mouths and brains of politicians, the president, and cable news. It's important for us to think critically, and that's something that I don't think you do.
I think it's just straight up one word: projection. Left always projects. That's it. You're projecting all of your faults on me because I actually have life experience, which you don't have, and I have been a liberal, and I stepped out of that when I saw what they were doing with my child at school, who I pulled out and am homeschooling.
I've been on the earth for less years than you have, but I've done more with the years that I have.
Okay, we gotta stop there.
Okay.
Thank you. Let's give them a round of applause for trying.
That was a good debate. Really good.
Let us know what you take a breath, Sode.
Wait, hot girl's back. Bring her back.
And these people who believe in these things so undoubtedly with such a high level of confidence are morons.
Well, Dean is the typical liberal man, and he will insult you when he's losing an argument. How many times did he insult me?
Wait, the guy's back. Okay. Go suck on the Shias, Ayatollah nuts. You don't represent Al-Sunnah, supported the Shia IRGC. Oh, is this a GCC guy? Oh, this is Shia IRGC supporter. Okay. Are you Syrian? Where are you from? Wait, this guy's really mad in the chat. Go suck on the Shia Ayatollah's nuts. Okay. Is he one of those who just like don't do anything guy? This has got to be one of those like, brother, both are bad. Iran is worse than Israel. Come on, type something. Don't be another one of those chatters who starts hating. You got the spotlight on you. You want to voice your opinion. You're an anonymous account. Is that why? So you don't want to, what about it? Yeah, Iran's done bad things. IRGC does bad things. They're not innocent. Absolutely. Horrible. But they're the ones fighting against Israel. What are you? And they get quiet. Dude, it's every time. Literally every single time. They tuck their tails, bro. they tuck their tails. He's not bad.
Stop.
I think that MAGA women often get mischaracterized as uneducated or that they're oppressed.
Is that voice fake?
And honestly, a lot of MAGA women have come from liberal backgrounds. They've taken a lot of thought into why they believe what they believe.
We're all MAGA in our own.
Okay, look, he's saying, well, 2 minutes ago, go suck on the Shias nuts who slaughtered Sunnis, LMAO, you a bozo. Okay. Why did Iran not include Gaza in the deal? They just mentioned that today. We showed it. Did you not see the stream? It was just mentioned today. Why didn't Iran include Gaza in their deal? It was just mentioned today. Also, Yahya Sinwar, the leader of the resistance, said that Iran was the only nation to help them out. He said, La la dam Iran. He said, like, nobody else did anything. Bro, the rest of the nations, they're signing the Abraham Accords, bro. They slaughtered Sunnis. Well, okay, look, yeah, that's true. Who killed more Sunnis? Israel or Iran? Perfect example, another mentally these people are very similar to a lot of the thank you baby, thank you Trump Iranian diasporas, people in the Iranian diaspora. Who killed more? Who's slaughtering more Sunni Muslims, Iran or Israel? Incredible that like this is a difficult subject for them. And now he's quiet again. Say something, bruv. You're a bozo thinking Iran supports Palestine is a lie. I'm literally repeating what Yahya Sinwar said. Look what happened to Gaza. Iran's proxies play into Israel's hands. Okay, but what did the rest of the states do? Because right now, the only nation fighting against Israel is Iran. The only one. It's not debated. There's no argument there.
Whose blowjob did you relish the most? Amber Rose, Sarah Safari, Xena, or Woe Vicky?
What is this chat? What are we doing?